This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
10-yard line, touchdown Vegas, what a wild finish.
Your home for the NFL. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the San Antonio Spurs have lost all-star Victor Wembanyama for the season. The team announced he's been diagnosed with a deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder, which is a form of a blood clot. And the show must go on. Spurs finally have a home game, sort of. They're in Austin tonight. Spurs will face Kevin Durant and the Suns. Tip-off from the Moody Center, 8:30. Game will be televised on TNT.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenicshealth.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minnix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, I want to say good afternoon. I want to say happy Thursday. I want to say all of those, proper things, happy things, upbeat things. But, boy, any Spurs fans know it is a gloomy day in San Antonio. Victor Wembanyama out, most likely for the remainder of the season with a blood clot. We're going to obviously talk a lot about that. So happy you're joining in. And obviously, this is a session for all of us today. Whether you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate that. Please subscribe and like our YouTube page. Or if you're driving around the city of San Antonio or however you are listening to the show today, what you need to do is get over here to Round Table Pizza. We are at the Park North location, which is just off 410 in Blanco. It'd be a great day to come on by, have a cold beer, nice comfort food like a big pizza, and kind of drown your sorrows. Obviously, this news broke right around noon today, and we find out that Victor Wembanyama has this thrombosis in his shoulder, which is a form of a blood clot, and most likely will miss the remainder of the season. We're going to talk a lot about that. We've got a couple of doctors that are going to come on and join us from TSAOG. They will talk about the blood clot process and how you treat that thing and the prognosis, quite frankly, for a recovery, which, as we're hearing right now, is very, very good. And it looks like Wemby will be ready to go once the next season rolls around. But for this season, he's got to take it easy and make sure that that he gets well and that everything is okay. But if you want to join in, if you've got something to say, if you're on YouTube, you can certainly do that there as well. Or if you want to give us a call, you can do that. You want to voice your opinion and your sorrows or whatever the case may be, you're more than welcome to do that as well. The phone number is 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Boy, what a day. And I don't know how you guys felt, but when I heard the news and it just kind of just out of the blue, I get a notification and I'm going, this can't be real. It's kind of like, when you hear about a trade. Right? Or you hear about something, you just don't believe it, and you got to take time to process it and move forward. So a lot to talk about today, and we are going to visit with Dr. Casey Tabor here coming up at 2:15, and he's going to give us his thoughts on what has taken place here today and the prognosis. Now, I will tell you this. I'm Joe Reinagel, by the way. Jason Minnix is not here today. He's got the day off. But I did talk to Jason's wife today, Joanna. And Joanna is a nurse who deals with this kind of stuff all the time. And obviously it's a scary thing because with blood clots, you just don't know exactly. You don't want them to move is what she said, right? Because if they move to the brain or the heart, it could be very serious. But it looks like they caught this and most likely will treat it with medication, blood thinners, that kind of stuff. And I've heard from some other people today that have dealt with things like this, and it's most likely something now that Wemby's going to have to be on for the rest of his life just to keep things under control. There have been a lot of athletes that have had this and have recovered from it. Obviously, the one who didn't was Chris Bosh. Had one, it went away, but it came back and obviously ended his career. But keep in mind, Bosh was much older when that happened. So the outlook right now from the doctors I've spoken to, from Jason's wife, as you look at it without examining, but the prognosis is good that he's going to be back. And the Spurs are saying the same thing as well. And that's the good news. So I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter. I've seen a lot of stuff just on the social medias in general. Everybody talking about, well, they might as well just tank the season. And I'm like, whoa, let's pump the brakes for just a minute here. Let's make sure that this young man is okay before we talk about basketball, because basketball is secondary right now. Right? I mean, it is. It's secondary. And we're all going to think about it. I get it. And everybody's thinking, well, Wemby's going to be just fine. Everything's going to be all right. Let's tank. Let's get a Cooper Flag in here, or at least an opportunity to draft that young man. And let's go from there. It's going to be interesting to see how the Spurs play. Now, I know that we have some sound coming in from Austin, from the players reacting to this, and we'll get that to you just as soon as we can. But it's just hitting everybody, and we're all still trying to process it. I certainly am. And it's just one of those things that is just it's just kind of devastating. It kind of puts a dark mood on a Thursday here in San Antonio, really, whether you're a Spurs fan or not, because even non-Spurs fans know who Victor Wembanyama is because of all the hype that he's gotten, and the HEB commercials and all of that kind of stuff. So everybody knows who this young man is, and obviously everybody wishing him well and a speedy recovery. But what a season it's been for the Spurs, right? I mean, first Greg Popovich with his incident. Now you've got Wemby with this incident, and Chris Paul in Austin just a few minutes ago reacted to the news of Wemby's blood clot.
So much more important, but for us, we know losing a big part of our team like that is by committee. You know, and trust me, you can't replace Vic. You know, I can't stand on the guy's shoulders and block every shot that comes to the rim. You know, and aside from his basketball ability, his charisma and what he brings into the locker room, I think is what we'll miss the most. And it's been extremely tough, to tell you to say the least. You know, especially with this organization and how they put everything into perspective. You know, so obviously the Pop situation, knowing what he means to the league, Vic, and you know, him playing his first All-Star game. I think for us, you know, we got a job to do, but just like anybody, we worry about our people.
So interesting, difficult to hear that, obviously, with the basketballs in the background and all of that kind of stuff. But I think you get the gist. You know, I mean, even Chris Paul sounding dejected today. And I'm sure every Spur that spoke to the media or will speak to the media, there certainly will be a bunch after tonight's game, kind of puts a damper on what was set to be something special, right? I mean, you're in Austin, you're going to play there. I know the folks in Austin are excited about that. De'Aaron Fox, finally a home game, if you will, but at least coming back to Texas to play some basketball with the Spurs, first time since he's been here. And so all of that now just kind of a damper on things, and it will be interesting to see when you get news like this. Obviously, when the ball goes up and they start the game tonight, you know, you kind of forget about all of that and you just go out and you play basketball. But up until then, you're going to be thinking about it. And I don't know if, you know, it's interesting because talking to Jason's wife, Joanna, earlier, and she was telling me, and Jason told me that she thought that Wemby looked gassed at the All-Star game. And obviously now we know why, because of this. But it's interesting because we've talked on this show, Jason and I, and Pledge even have talked about it, that Wemby has at times looked like he just needs a breather, a break. And we're thinking, well, long season, whatever. You think of anything else other than a blood clot, for goodness sake. I don't think anybody thought of that. So it's really interesting and scary, quite frankly, when it comes to this. But it appears from everything that I've heard from the doctors I've spoken to, that everything is, they caught it, right? And it hasn't gone anywhere. Obviously, they're going to have to continue to check him. He's on the medication, and they're going to be very careful obviously, with Victor Wembanyama. And again, we are going to talk with Dr. Casey Tabor from TSAOG Orthopedics coming up in just a moment. He deals with these kind of things. In fact, all of the doctors at TSAOG deal with blood clots. You have to be concerned about that when you're doing any kind of surgery. So they know the proper way to treat these things and how to go about it. Obviously, they don't have firsthand accounting of what's going on with Wemby, but they can certainly talk intelligently about what the next steps will be and how we proceed. So again, if you've got questions or concerns or just want to get something off your chest, you can certainly do that. I know there's a lot of folks on our YouTube page right now expressing condolences and talking about maybe, what's next. I see there from Matthew Flores, time for Castle to shine. Redbird's Junkie's been looking gassed for a few weeks, actually, and I agree with that. And we have talked about that, which is interesting. And now, of course, we know why, because according to Joanna Minnix, Jason's wife, the nurse, when your blood's not flowing right, it takes everything, just puts everything out of whack. So now we understand why. They've caught it. They're beginning the treatment for this. And by all accounts, everything looks like it's going to be okay, and he's going to make a full recovery. And certainly that is the best news that we could get. A lot of Wemby talk, obviously, a lot of Spurs talk coming up. We got a lot more to talk about. We'll get into whatever you guys want to get into. If you want to vent, if you want to say something about Wemby, you're more than welcome to do so. When we come back, we're going to talk with Dr. Casey Tabor and get his thoughts on what's going on with Victor Wembanyama. But I got a better idea. Instead of watching on YouTube or driving around San Antonio or whatever it is you're doing, however you're listening, why don't you get over here to Round Table Pizza? Come on over here. It is the Park North location. I just had a great sandwich. It was an Italian sandwich, and it was fantastic. Grumpy-ass Greg Shelton over here had a pizza, and it looked like it had a little bit of everything on it, and it must have been good because even the crumbs are gone. So the pizza's great. The food's great. They've got cold beer here as well. If you're into wine, they've got wine here. They've got bottles, drafts, all that kind of stuff. And, in fact, they've got a happy hour that is coming up here. I believe it's at 4 o'clock it begins. So make plans, point your car in this direction. Again, Round Table Pizza, the Park North location, which is right off 410 and Blanco Road. Come out here and see us, and we can all kind of cry in our beer together. Dr. Casey Tabor, he will join us next when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, San Antonio, multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit.
George gets justice.
No amount of money can make up for a life-changing injury. I'm George Salinas, and at George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our team of attorneys will fight to get you the maximum compensation because we prepare and we care. So if you've been injured in an accident, get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Celebrating Black History Month, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Growing up, Robert Battle dreamed of dancing for the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. Now artistic director, he discusses the dance group's 60th anniversary.
You have to be mindful that you are part of a legacy, that you're taking care of a legacy that has history.
What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. That was an easy riddle. Learn more at progressive.com.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or on third-party delivery platforms.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Well, we'll say it anyway. Happy Thursday, everybody. This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix with the day off today, but of course we're dealing with the news of the day. Victor Wembanyama out for the remainder of the season. Blood clot in his right shoulder, and they call that vein thrombosis. That's a big word for me, certainly, but not a big word for Dr. Casey Tabor, who joins us now via the Buyers Barricades guest line. And, of course, Dr. Tabor with the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Tabor, thanks for taking the time to visit with us this afternoon.
Sure, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Dr. Tabor, vein thrombosis. Can you translate that for all of us?
Yeah, that is a big fancy word. So obviously vein means it's involving the vein and not the artery. And then thrombosis means that the blood has clotted within the vein. And so we hear a lot of, you'll read about stuff, people getting what they call deep vein thrombosis or superficial vein thrombosis. And they can be scary because if they move from that location, they can cause other problems if they went to your lungs or other parts, but particularly the lungs are the ones that we worry about where those move from.
Now, obviously, with Victor Wembanyama, it's prognosis from everybody we've heard from, including the Spurs, is good, and they expect a full recovery. What happens now, though? You discover this because he hasn't been feeling well, but he just thought a couple of days of rest would be okay, and obviously that wasn't. He gets back home from the All-Star game, and they discover the blood clot. What happens now, Doc? Are they really cautious with him, or where do we go?
Yeah, typically what they do, and it depends on, in general, the upper extremities. So, like his is in his shoulder, are not considered as dangerous as the lower extremities where you have bigger veins. And those bigger veins, if it dislodges, it's obviously a bigger clot, and it can cause more damage to the lungs. So they're a little less significant. But going forward, what they're going to want to do is try and figure out why he got it. One thing, it can be trauma. So if he took a hit or a hard foul or something to the shoulder and it disrupted the lining of the vessel and caused it to clot off, that's one of the reasons. Another is an airplane flight can increase those risks, but usually you'd have to have something other than just an airplane flight. So, for instance, a trauma or some sort of procedure in the arm. And so they want to look at that. And then more importantly, what they'll do is they'll want to test his blood, because some people have genetic abnormalities within blood, which increase their risk of blood clots in the future. And if that's the case, then they will usually treat him with a blood thinner for life going forward to prevent this for future episodes. And so they probably started him on some sort of blood thinner.
Okay, and visiting with Dr. Casey Tabor from the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. And Dr. Tabor, when you say that, so it's not necessarily a lifetime thing with the blood thinners and that moving forward, but certainly that could happen.
Correct. Further test will, and that's probably what they're doing this week, is figuring out why and seeing if they'll usually do blood work to look at that, and it could potentially be lifetime of blood thinners. And sometimes they do all that workup, there's nothing that comes up, and they'll kind of figure, well, maybe he took a hard blow and disrupted the vessel and then it clotted off, and that was the only reason why. But you got to do your homework and make sure it's not something more serious.
Well, and I think that's what has everybody a little bit on edge, Dr. Tabor, at this point in time, because, none of us, or most of us that listen to this program, don't know what the heck this is, and it came right out of the clear blue sky. Are they concerned about others? Is that a concern, or is this kind of a solo thing that you don't have to concern yourself with others?
I would guess when they found it, they did ultrasounds on the other main locations and have found nothing else, and so it was only released that it was in his shoulder. So, yeah, you worry that it could be somewhere else, but I would assume they've already looked that up. They've already identified that when they found it the first time on the shoulder.
Dr. Tabor, a lot of men they hurt, something happens and you just ignore it thinking it's going to go away. I think that's what happened with Wemby because he has been looking a little tired here over the last couple of weeks. And I know talking to a lot of people that were at the All-Star game last weekend said he looked a little sluggish. Is that a big symptom of something like this?
Not typically. I would guess that's more wear and tear over the season, and he's kind of getting worn out, and this is his second full season, and he's a young guy that takes a lot of blows. He's playing more minutes than he ever has. I would attribute it more to that than a blood clot. And the problem is we don't really know when it occurred. Did it occur 3 days ago or 3 weeks ago? Usually if he had it in his upper extremity, he would start having some swelling down into the arm, and I'm guessing that's why they actually took him in, was he was having some swelling on that arm, and they were concerned for some sort of blood abnormality or blood clotting off or blocking of the arteries there.
Dr. Casey Tabor with the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. And Dr. Tabor, when you just look at a prognosis, and I know you haven't examined Wemby, but typically is this something that can be controlled and that most people recover from?
Yeah, I would say this is something that will be controlled and most people recover from. What that pathway is will depend on what the studies show in the next couple of days as they kind of trickle in. Again, you hope it was just maybe he took a hard blow and it disrupted the vasculature or the vein lining. If it's that, then he's not going to have any long-term residual deficit. They'll precautionarily treat him with for a short period of time with blood thinners, and then get him off of that, and he'd be back playing basketball in the next several months. But if it is something other than that, then it could require more long-term blood thinners. But even with that, I think he could still play basketball going forward.
Well, that's certainly good news. And Doc, I got to ask you, the fact that they're going to shut him down for the rest of the season, about 30 plus games left in the season. And I mean, is that typical? Do you like to see a long period of time of just rest and recovery before you start getting active again?
So it kind of depends. Again, we're usually a little bit less, we're a little bit more lenient on these upper extremity ones as opposed to ones that are in the legs or the thighs. And so I think that, you know, probably had they been in the middle of a race to, you know, make the playoffs, and, you know, they may race them for a couple of weeks, but they probably would have let them come back a little bit sooner. But given the fact that they're kind of out of the hunt right now, let's get them back on the healing path, get them back where we need to, get it figured out, and be ready to go for next season. So they were probably a little precautious on him just because of the particular situation they're in right now for playoffs.
Dr. Tabor, I appreciate your time, because you've cleared up a lot and made it, you spoke English to all of us, and now we understand a little bit better about what we're dealing with. We appreciate you, Dr. Tabor. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. You all have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Casey Tabor, Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics, joining us via the Buyers Barricades guest line. Of course, all guests appear via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. Some interesting stuff, but I think when you listen to Dr. Tabor today, it's optimistic that not only full recovery and back at full health next season, but if the Spurs were in the middle of a playoff run, who knows, maybe just a 2 or 3 week time frame, and he'd be back there. If you want to react to anything that Dr. Tabor just told us, you're more than welcome to do that. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. If you're on our YouTube page, you can comment there. Of course, we're getting a lot of comments on our YouTube page. Please subscribe and like our page there, if you will. But however you're listening around the city of San Antonio, if you want to comment on what's going on today with Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs as they prepare for a couple of games in Austin, 2 back-to-back. They've got the Suns tonight and the Pistons tomorrow night, so they're going back-to-back, and then they resume their rodeo road trip before they actually come back to San Antonio proper and play here. So, but a big blow to the players. And I tell you what, when I watch this game tonight, and I think everybody will watch a little more intently and see how much of an effect that this is going to have on the rest of the guys. We heard from Chris Paul a few minutes ago, and you could tell just by the sound of his voice, he's a little bit dejected. I mean, obviously, this is a blow for everybody, and I'm not sure exactly how long the guys have known this. You know, it's funny because Minnix and I were talking about this yesterday when Wemby showed up on the injury report, that he was doubtful because of an illness. So obviously they knew something was going on then. We just didn't know what it was or how severe it would be, but we thought that was pretty strange because he just came back from an illness. And I have to wonder if all of that is all tied in together, because I'll tell you, Pledge, it's I mean, he's a young kid. He's 21 years old, and you just don't look at a guy like that and think, well, he's going to get sick all the time.
No, and I look at this injury, and the first instance I had of it was just terrified, right? Like, I understand a bunch of people have come back from this sans Chris Paul, Chris Bosh, but Asar Thompson, Brandon Ingram, both came back from upper extremity versions of this blood clot in the upper portion of their body. But you hear about if it breaks loose, if it goes to the brain or the heart or the lungs, and the issues they can cause. It's just, I mean, can we be human beings for a moment and just pray for his safety and not worry about draft picks and supermax contracts and stuff, and just hope that Wemby is okay?
Well, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I had the same result because a lot of people talking about that. But I think with what Casey Tabor just told us, the doc that we had on from TSAOG, it all sounds, at least on the surface as we're looking at it now, and it is still early for all of us that are ingesting this now, but it sounds like this is going to be okay. And I understand where Spurs fans are going with this, because you look at this, you're saying, well, whether they're going to make the playoffs or are they not, it was kind of on the borderline anyway. So now with Wemby going out, how about De'Aaron Fox go ahead and get surgery on that hand now and go ahead and get that over with while he's, he can recover sooner and be better sooner. And now I'm not saying it's a tank, but I mean, what do you do? Because without Victor Wembanyama, I think these Spurs with De'Aaron Fox, with Chris Paul, with Stephon Castle, they can win a few ball games, but I don't see them going anywhere. So I understand, because I think people want to react and think about something else other than the health of Victor Wembanyama, because it is a scary thing for all of us. I don't think there's any question about that. And again, if you want to comment or have anything to say, you're more than welcome to do so. I'm getting a lot of comments.
What's your favorite thing you like to say on this show?
We just don't know.
We just don't know.
We just don't know. And that's exactly right. Here's something I do know. We're at Round Table Pizza right now. We're at the North Park location. That's where I am. That's where grumpy-ass Greg Shelton is. James Pledger is back in the studio doing what he does, pushing the buttons. But you can certainly make your way over here to Round Table Pizza. You want to drown your sorrows, you can do that. They've got plenty of cold beer. They've got wine if you like that. They've got great food. I had a great sandwich. And Shelton here had a pizza, but they've got anything you want. They've got specials going on. They've still got that $19.99 special with the pepperoni, the grilled chicken, and the bacon. So come on out if you're hungry or you want to take something home for dinner tonight. Round Table Pizza is where you need to be. Again, we're in the Park North location. It's right off 410 and Loop 1604. We can all kind of drown our sorrows together as we think about another down season for the Spurs. And again, look forward to what's going to take place in the offseason, whether that's with the draft lottery, whether that's with some trades, some free agents, who knows what's going to take place this summer. But this is where we're at. Victor Wembanyama out for the remainder of the season with a blood clot in his right shoulder. Scary news, but it appears, at least it appears at this point in time, he's going to be okay. When we come back, we're going to go to Austin. Our good friend Bob Ballou from KI Sports was in the media room. They were getting ready to go out onto the floor and do interviews when a representative came in and told them what was going on with Victor Wembanyama, and he said the reaction in the locker room was something else. So Bob's going to tell us all about that. He'll do that when we continue from Round Table Pizza right here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Morning Huddle.
It wasn't a dude,
I
man.
hated Duran
So
Duran.
by default, you had to like Duran Duran because any girl you were hitting on certainly did.
You had to
So
put
you
up
had
with
to
it.
pretend that you liked it. No guy liked Duran Duran.
I grew up in an age where if you got caught listening to Duran Duran, you're likely to get your ass kicked for that.
Yeah, you got beat up.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, does it feel like you're lacking energy, always moody? You know your libido isn't what it used to be. Could be caused by low testosterone. Don't wait to go get tested. I recommend you go see the providers at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss because their personalized TRT goes beyond standard treatments. Not all TRT is the same. And at Synergenics, you'll get a personally optimized TRT treatment plan from providers who specialize in testosterone therapy. Book that appointment now at synergenicshealth.com. Testosterone starts to decline in your 30s. So if you're feeling a loss of energy and drive, it could be low T. Go get checked at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. They also have affordable GLP-1 weight loss options. And for current patients, they're offering a $150 referral credit when you refer a new patient. Get that VIP treatment with the TRT experts at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Book that appointment now at synergenicshealth.com. SYNERGENX health.com for Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arosty.
At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LOCAL to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LOCAL for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LOCAL for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Davis Law Firm secures important verdicts and settlements for Texans hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck. Many in the millions of dollars. No case is too big or too small. And remember, there's no fee unless we win. So if you want more, call the Fours. Davis Law Firm San Antonio, 444-4444.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
The most exciting weekend in college basketball starts here. Don't miss the 2025 State Farm College Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championships, Thursday, April 3rd at the Frost Bank Center. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. One night, pure action. Don't miss it.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business. Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it and will beat any print quote. Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs. No problem. I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens. Totally. I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing. I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Join the Blitz today for a live broadcast from Round Table Pizza, Park North. Have a slice, talk sports, and enjoy delicious pizza and cold drinks. Plus, score some deals during happy hour starting at 3. See you at Round Table Pizza in Park North. Well, that's exactly where we are. Round Table Pizza, Park North. Right at the corner of Blanco and Loop 410. Come on out and join us. Have a cold beer, drown your sorrows, get some comfort food, some good pizza. They've got great sandwiches here, too. All of that stuff. Come and see us here at Round Table Pizza. And, of course, the big news of the day, it's what everybody's talking about around these parts. And even, well, up in that city far, far away, Austin, Texas. That's where our good friend Bob Ballou is, joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line, KI Sports Director Bob Ballou. And, Bob, first of all, you staying warm?
I am staying warm. This has been I don't think any of us love this, but for 4 or 5 days. You get it, and then you remember that it's going to be 137 in July, and you go, all right, I'll take it for 4 days, and then we'll go back to 65 on Sunday.
Yeah, not bad. Exactly. And, oh, man, it's why we live here, though, right? So we don't have to put up with that stuff too long. Exactly right. By the way, I'm Joe Reinagel. If I haven't mentioned, Jason Minnix is not here. I'm not sure anybody misses the guy anyway, but I thought I'd let you know that he's not here. He's taking the day off. Bob, trying to stay a little positive and crack some jokes or two, but I tell you what a weird day it's been. And I know you were there getting ready to go do some interviews. I saw a tweet that you sent out earlier today, and just give us the reaction when all of the reporters there heard the news.
Yeah, we were inside the Moody Center. We had completed Sun shoot around. We were waiting on the Spurs to finish up, and I had seen a tweet from Mike Finger that said Spurs are here at shoot around. Wemby is not here, and so I think there were some people probably knew a few things that were going on. They obviously, I don't think they knew this, but they knew a few things that were going on, and somebody just turned around and said, Wemby's out for the year. And everybody in the room went kind of like, huh? Like, what? And you just feel for the kid. I think, number one, it's funny. I think there are a lot of directions you go this. Obviously, I don't cover this team on a day-to-day basis anymore, but I know what the Spurs fans feel. I was obviously at Ken's 5 with you for 3 years, and covered 2 championships in that span, and what it means to the city and all those things. And we saw the reaction from Dallas over Luka, which is obviously a little bit of a different type thing, but cities invest in their players, and fans get emotionally attached to these guys. And when you hear something like, oh, he's done for the year, and immediately you think, no, like, we don't want that for our team. Then when you hear the diagnosis of what it is, it kind of scares you. I mean, when you hear anything about a blood clot, something that could be a much bigger deal. Obviously Chris Bosh went through some things, but the Spurs have kind of done a good job over the years of trying to explain what's going on. And I felt like in their release, you had a better feeling about it. He's out for the year, but maybe this isn't something that's going to linger long term. Maybe this will be, and I've seen a few reports about that today. Maybe this isn't something that will linger long term. They feel like it's something they can fix and then move forward with him and his obviously very bright future in the NBA.
Yeah, Bob, we had a doctor on right before you in the last segment, and he was saying, the prognosis for these kinds of things are usually pretty good. But he said, obviously, right now you want to be really careful to make sure that it doesn't move and that they get it under control. But it appears that everything looks good, that he should be back and ready to go. In fact, he said if the Spurs were in the thick of a playoff chase, he could see a scenario where 3-4 weeks and he could be back in the lineup. So it doesn't appear at this point to be that serious. However, anytime you're dealing with blood clots like that, it's crazy. Let me ask you this, because I know that the city of Austin gets pretty excited when the Spurs come up there, and it's a friendly little feud between the city of San Antonio and the city of Austin, that's for sure. But what does this 2-game stretch mean to the folks there in Austin?
Yeah, I think a couple things on that front. I think number one, my first thought was not my first thought. One of my thoughts when all this came down with Wemby was I feel bad for all these fans here, because all of them were so excited to get to see him in person. I know they got to last year as well. It was a very big deal. Think about this, Joe. In year one, when they did this the first time 2 years ago, I had mentioned this earlier, if I'm not mistaken, Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell are the only 2 players that were on the roster 2 years ago that are still on the team now. The major upgrades for this franchise, obviously Wemby, but you bring in Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, and you start De'Aaron Fox obviously in the trade. You start looking at what they've brought in. It's very exciting. Now that when they go on the road, it's exciting for a road team to get to see them. They go to Atlanta. Atlanta fans are going to be excited to see this team play. And that's a different perspective than what it was 2 years ago. Last year, it was just the idea of Wemby and getting to see him for the first time. Now it's, hey, this franchise is starting to take a step. They could be a playoff contender, all those type of things. And I always go back to this. I always think about the kids that were so excited to get to see him play. I always laugh about it when, whether it was Tim, Tony, or Manu, or LeBron, or Kobe, or whoever, when they would go to a city and that whole fan base and those kids especially are excited about seeing him play, and then they sit out the game. And you're like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, it's tough stuff to get our kid to get to see him play. Well, it's kind of that feeling right now. Like, all these people in Austin that were so excited to get to see him don't get to see him. But again, it's way more about Wemby's health and making.
Did we lose you, Bob? Maybe we lost Bob Ballou, our good friend from KI Sports there. And okay. So you want to try to get him back, Pledge, and we'll continue that conversation. But as you heard Bob, I mean, not only, even though Kevin Durant's there, and that was going to be my next question for Bob, was, I mean, I'm sure the fans are still excited to see Durant after, Texas guy. And so, but it is strange not having Wemby there anymore. And I think we do have Bob Ballou back. Bob, you there?
Yeah.
Man, you need to
get,
the
AirPod,
you get a better phone, pal.
The AirPod got me. It was falling out of my ear, and I touched it, and it just hung up. I don't know how to work. I got to figure out how to work AirPods. But just to that point, like, I think maybe, and I heard you say Kevin Durant, and that's where I was going with this. At least that's still going to happen tonight. At least they've got Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes and De'Aaron Fox and Devin Vassell. That list has gone on for the Spurs. So it's not the end of the world. Like, maybe you would have felt a little different last year when you were just excited to see him. At least you're still getting to see that. Plus, tonight getting to see Kevin Durant return to Austin, Devin Booker, and a Phoenix team that's going to try to make a run. You still have a lot of excitement, and I think the buzz is still definitely there. It's just you feel that sinking feeling a little bit when you hear Wemby's not going to play.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. And he is a draw. You're exactly right. He's a draw no matter where he goes now. People want to see this kid that has come out of with all the hype and everything that he's got. I was looking at and obviously following you on Twitter and see everything that's going on. And it's not just you, it's the buzz that was around Durant, especially yesterday when he talked. And he talked about Wemby and him possibly becoming the new face of the NBA at some point in time. When you look at Kevin Durant, and that guy's been all over the place, and I think criticized unfairly to a certain extent in a lot of different ways, but just the fact that he's tied to Austin, Bob, does that give the folks there a sense of, a sense of pride?
Absolutely. I think the fans in Austin who are fans, fans of Texas, obviously, I think there are a lot of people who, if you go to Texas Tech, you're going to feel pride about someone else, or if you go to Baylor, you're going to feel pride about someone else. But you think about what Kevin Durant has been for the league for the last 18 years. I mean, he's, even I asked Devin Vassell about it yesterday, and he was like, you got to remember this guy averages 25 a game for 18 years, and he's 40, 50, 90, or 50, 40, 90. Field goal, 3-point field goal, and free throw. Like, it's insane what he's done in this league. And even De'Aaron Fox yesterday made the comment, like, I don't think people appreciate him enough, not just on the offensive end, but what he does as an all-around player and on the defensive end. And so there's a ton of respect around the league for him. Obviously in Austin, it's a much bigger deal. It was fun to listen to KD yesterday talk about how somebody said, like, what was your favorite thing to do off the floor? And he was like, we would pile in Justin Mason's car, all of our team, as many as we could. And we'd go down to 6th Street after games. And he never said we went into bars, but we're not dumb.
Right.
But it's that he was, because I think he was 18. All those guys were 18 when he played. There were 4 freshmen and a sophomore that started, and so those guys would go down there and have fun. And he's very nostalgic about this place. It's why, I think Rick Barnes and Rodney Terry and the atmosphere that those guys created when he was here made him want to stay a part of this for such a long time and stay involved in the program. A lot of guys, Joe, who are 1-year guys don't necessarily fall in love with the school and want to stay involved in the program. Some of them do, but it's not everyone. And I think KD really fell in love with Texas, what Rick Barnes did, what Rodney Terry did then as an assistant head coach and now as the head coach. And so I think it was really fun to listen to him talk about coming back. He came back for the Georgia football game this year with Devin Booker and there was another player here too, but it was just, it's all, He loves Austin, and he said he comes back every time he can. To be honest with you, Joe, I found out today he was here Monday. He came straight from the All-Star game on Sunday night and got on a plane, flew to Austin. He was here by 1:00 on Monday. So he wanted to be here for 3 or 4 days and enjoy Austin, and then get ready to go tonight.
So what happens around the arena tonight, Bob? Is there are there, I don't know, for lack of a better word, parties? I mean, is it that kind of an atmosphere around the arena?
I'll tell you what's cool. The Spurs have done a terrific job with this. They've created a lot of things around this. We had the Austin Marathon Sunday morning. They were a little bit a part of that. They had a court dedication where they got involved with Play ATX. Yesterday, they had a block party at Houston Tillotson from 3 to 8. Houston Tillotson's older than UT. They're celebrating their 150th anniversary, so they got to do that, a historically black college here. Yesterday, I should say, that was 2 days ago. Yesterday, they had the Spurs Cup where fans got to go out and play pickleball and games, and they had like a whole cup deal for it. And then today, there's like a pep rally down at one of the hotels. It's cold outside, Joe, so I don't know how many people are going to want to party outside, but certainly anything you can find on the inside, they're happy to do it. And there's a pep rally at one of the hotels before the game. So the Spurs have done a terrific job at making, their 5 days or 4 or 5 days here in Austin as marketable as they can to the city and giving kind of something for everyone so you get a chance to get involved one way or the other.
Well, I think that's fantastic. Bob Ballou from KI Sports in Austin. I've got to ask you, Bob, because Kay Adams had Sark on today, and did he just today name Arch Manning the starter? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where he hasn't done a lot of interviews since the loss to Ohio State. I think that's the first thing. I think, and to be honest, I don't know of any other than maybe a podcast or whatever. I think she probably just asked the question, like, is Arch going to be the starter? And I'm sure he said, Arch is, going to be the, and so that becomes a big deal. Obviously the big thing to come out of that, and I've heard rumblings about this for about a month now, but was that they aren't going to have a spring game. And it's a really interesting move. Now I get it. And Sark had talked about this during the season. He had said, I think at some point we're going to have to go to an more of an NFL model, because it just doesn't make sense with the portal, with everything else that goes in. Like, at some point we're going to have to go to that. And so they're pushing the envelope on it now, and they're just going to say, we're going to do more of an NFL style off season, and we're not going to have a spring game. Now, obviously the marketing around that takes away from it, but I think last year's spring game was fun because Arch threw for like 300 yards and everybody got to see him play. You don't get that very often in a spring game. It kind of becomes a glorified practice. Plus, you put that game on Longhorn Network. Every other, team in the country that's going to play Texas is going to watch that and try to find quirks here and there and plays and whatever. So you're not going to do much in it anyway. But it's still, it was still a good event, and I think people love, you get big crowds for it, and people love doing it. I remember Nebraska sold out. I mean, their stadium would be sold out for their spring game. So there are certain schools that may not get rid of it, but Texas is going to, and we'll kind of see like if there is any drawback from it at all, or if it's a great move and they can, kind of get their guys healthy and do the things they want to do that way.
Well, I tell you what, that was a surprise, and you're right. That was the big news to come out of that. But I'll be honest with you, Bob. Sark took a little step back. I found out he's a big Lakers fan, and that was a little troubling.
Yeah, that's a problem for all of us. He's being a California guy. If he ever says he likes In-N-Out over Whataburger, I don't know what I'll do. We'll probably just stop covering Texas. But
we got to fire the guy.
But yeah,
we got to fire him.
How do you hire? It's like hiring Darryl Royal from Oklahoma to coach Texas. What are you doing?
Exactly right.
Won 3 national championships. So it works out sometimes, I guess.
Bob Ballou, KI Sports. It is always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for taking the time and joining us. Enjoy the game tonight.
I want you to know, all I could think, Joe, when we were doing this, I was hoping we could have some kind of live shot memory, because this is what it used to be. We'd be talking about the Spurs. You would pitch to me, and I'd have some big update, big report on what's going on with the Spurs. So this was nice. It was very nostalgic. It's 18 years in the making, and I'm glad we can make it happen again with the Spurs in Austin. Bob Ballou, 10-5 Sports.
Oh, look at that. The memories, Bob. Thank you, my friend. I always appreciate you.
You know it, man. Absolutely.
All
Talk
right.
to you soon, Joe.
Bob Ballou, KI Sports, joining us via the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. Always enjoy talking with my good friend Bob Ballou. He's something else. He's our Longhorn insider, by the way, so we had to get in a little Horns action. If you haven't seen that, we've got some sound from that Kay Adams interview this morning. We're going to play perhaps later, depending on how we go with this Victor Wembanyama news and how you guys want to talk about this. But again, that is the big story of the day. And Bob was there when they broke the news to all the reporters inside the Moody Center as they were getting ready to go get some interviews. And everybody just a little bit taken aback, which is, I think, all of us, isn't it? That's how are you reacting to this news today? Is just, it's the question of the day, and how do you process it? A lot of people are processing it as to, well, what does this mean for our future? Are we back in the lottery? Or how are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? So we can talk about whatever you want. But it is the news of the day. As I've got a couple of TVs right here in front of me here at Round Table Pizza. That's what ESPN's talking about. The big headline right there, Victor Wembanyama expected to miss the rest of the season with a blood clot. And everybody talking about this because whether the old school guys, the OG guys think it or not, Victor Wembanyama is the next face of the NBA. I don't think there's any question about it. He is just that good and that popular and that charismatic that he's going to be the face of the NBA. When LeBron James decides he wants to ride off into the sunset, guys like Chris Paul and Steph Curry, and those guys decide to ride off into the sunset, Wemby's going to be right there with the Gilgeous-Alexanders and the Anthony Edwards and all the young stars that are coming out. The NBA, star-wise, has a bright future ahead. I don't think there's any question about it. And I think Wemby is going to lead the way when it comes to those stars that are up and coming. We just wish him the best, wish him a speedy recovery, and we'll continue to talk about this all day long. We've got more interviews coming up, and your reaction, whether that's on our YouTube page, whether that's on Twitter at Joe Reinagel 210, or whether you want to give us a call here at 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, 656-3776, 656 ESPN. When we come back, Josh Allen's fiance is calling out three teams, insulting them, and even. We'll talk about that and a lot more when we return here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you think San Antonio sports, think 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Cowboys. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121 is the phone number. You can also text bail to 474747 or even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds 210-225-2121 or online mybestbailbonds.com. Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf, Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at Hims.com/joy. And from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. That's Hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the bad news of the day, the San Antonio Spurs have lost all-star Victor Wembanyama for the season. Team announced he's been diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder, which is a form of a blood clot. Spurs are in action tonight in Austin. They'll take on Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns. Tip-off there from the Moody Center set for 8:30. It will be televised on TNT.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minnix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Well, it is Thursday. I don't know how happy it is. Kind of a gloomy Thursday, but we're going to get through it. Everything's going to be all right. Of course, it is a gloomy Thursday because of the news of Victor Wembanyama done for the season with a blood clot. But the good news is we're here at Round Table Pizza. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix has the day off, but we're enjoying some pizza, some sandwiches, all kinds of stuff. I'm sitting here having to look at a case full of cold beer. There's beer on tap over there. They've got wine. If you're into wine, you want some wine, you can do that. I see some ciders here. at Round Table Pizza you can get into. All you have to do is get here. Now, we're at the Park North location of Round Table Pizza. That is right at the corner of Blanco and Loop 410. 410, not 1604. Somebody on our YouTube page got mistaken and said 1604. It's not that. It's Blanco and 410. Blanco 410. Blanco 410. Round Table Pizza. Come over and see us. In fact, they got a happy hour that is about to start Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, they've got a 4 to 7 happy hour. And they've got some great specials. I always talk about the large pepperoni chicken, grilled chicken, and bacon pizza that they've got, a large for under $20. It's $19.99, and they've got a family feast they're doing as well. So we're going to talk about all that, but get down here. Let's all have a beer together. We'll toast. We'll drown our sorrows, our disappointment. We can even say a prayer or two if we have to for old Victor Wembanyama, and talk about what we're going to do as we move forward. Again, that's the devastating news, the bad news of the day. Wemby out for the season with a blood clot, but it looks like everything's going to be okay. From everything we've heard from the docs we had on earlier in the show, everything is going to be okay. And I don't know about you, Pledge. James Pledger, by the way, punching the buttons back at the Radio Ranch. And, man, I tell you, when I saw this, I had it was a double take, and it was kind of like a kick in the gut.
It's a tremendous punch in the gut.
Yeah, it was.
It was. And
it really was.
I mean, I wish that I wasn't here pushing buttons so I could go over there to the Park North location and, drown my sorrows a little bit, because I will tell you, this was a swift kick, right? I mean, it kind of shook me in my core when I first saw it and understood exactly what he was dealing with and how serious it truly was.
Well, anytime you're dealing with a blood clot, I don't care where it is or that's just a dangerous thing, because if those things get loose, they can cause all kinds of problems, as Dr. Casey Tabor from TSAOG told us earlier in the show. And you got to be careful, and you got to make sure that those things are under control. It sounds like with Wemby, that is, and everybody expecting him to make a full recovery and be back. Now, I'm looking on our YouTube page, and I've seen a couple of these comments, Pledge. Everybody talking about De'Aaron Fox. And with the news about Wemby today, De'Aaron Fox is going to wait till the offseason to have surgery on his hand. And everybody, why not shut him down now? Let him go ahead and do that. Because if you haven't heard, and we've been talking a little bit about it in between the Wemby news, Windhorst today on ESPN says that everybody expecting Fox to sign a long-term deal with the Spurs. And I have a feeling that may be the news, but I have a feeling that was already baked in to this trade. I really do. I can't imagine that De'Aaron Fox wanted to come here and without a long-term plan in place. So I think that happens as soon as it can. It's got to be 6 months. So that's going to be early August before he's able to do that. But obviously be a long-time Spur and certainly a big piece of the foundation for this team to move forward, along with Victor Wembanyama. And now, as we have a rising star in Stephon Castle, so those three pieces of the puzzle, you put some players around them and fill in, and this team could be back in the mix sooner rather than later. But again, we're at Round Table Pizza. It's Loop 410. It's the Park North location. It's 410 and Blanco Road, right here on the corner. It's hard to miss once you turn on Blanco. Very nice place. The salad bar, Greg Shelton, I think he ate about half of that salad bar, but they have restocked it. So they've restocked it. It's ready to go. And again, the food is fantastic. Come on out here and see us. Now, tomorrow, we, thanks to our friends from Flight by Yingling, it is the SA Sports Star Golf Tournament Kickoff Party. We're going to be live tomorrow with our friends from Flight at the Clubhouse. Now, that's right off of Broadway near the entrance to Brackenridge Golf Course. Everybody knows where that is, right? And it's going to be a lot of fun. It is the official kickoff party for our spring golf tournament. It is presented by Flight. We're going to have a putting contest. Now, what Flight's doing is they're giving away their foursome. Okay, they get a foursome for being the title sponsor of this thing. And so they've decided to give that foursome to you. All you have to do is come out and participate in the putting contest, And you're going to win a foursome, or you have the opportunity to win a foursome to our golf tournament, April 14. It benefits the Pan American Golf Association. There's also going to be some great prizes out there. We got Beer Santa Renee coming, and there's going to be free beer flowing out there as well. You also have an opportunity to register to win for an unforgettable trip for 4 to Kingston Resort in South Carolina. Again, it is tomorrow at the Clubhouse, 2300 Avenue B, right there off Broadway at the entrance to Brackenridge Golf Course, with Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. But you know what we do about this time every day? It's time for the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. 2 guys, 2 opinions, never enough time.
Oh, this is the Headline Blitz. I tell you what, it's a weird headline that I woke up to today as I'm preparing for the show, and it involves Carson Beck. Remember him? He was the quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs, but got hurt and then decided to enter the transfer portal and play another year in Miami for $4 million, by the way. Had his car stolen. Not 1 car stolen, but 2 cars stolen there in Miami. So Miami is a nice place to be, but you got to be careful with your cars, especially if you're a guy like Carson Beck, because he must be spending that $4 million that he got at the University of Miami, because what was stolen was a Mercedes and a Lamborghini. So it was his car. I'm not sure which is his and which is his girlfriend's, but both of their cars were stolen. So a Mercedes and a Lamborghini that were stolen overnight.
Now,
welcome to Miami.
Now,
Carson.
Joe, do we know if these cars were his and he paid for them out of pocket with that $4 million, or if it's like the University of Texas and they've got a deal with Aston Martin and they just give out free cars to some of their players?
Well, I hope for Beck's sake that they were loaners that got stolen and not cars that he paid for, because I don't know what a Lamborghini costs. Well, a couple $100,000.
I would hope it's insured.
I would think, right? Something like that. I mean, those cars aren't cheap. So, but he's without that, and he's talking to his insurance company today, I'm sure, or the car dealership that he got these cars from. But I found that bizarre, and I don't know where these cars were. Obviously, they were out in the open somewhere. But what's bizarre about that is his car and his girlfriend's car, and that's just kind of weird to have both of those stolen at the same time. So best of luck to you, Carson. Check this out. And for all of you folks out there listening that aren't patient people, I want to tell you this story because a gambler's gambler is what the headline read. And it goes on to say a man hits the lotto after playing the same numbers for 4 years. Now, did you hear me right? You see, go in, he does his own. He doesn't do the quick pick, right, that picks the numbers for you. He goes in and he fills out the card, and he uses the same numbers. He used the same numbers for 4 years, finally hit the lottery, won the jackpot. Now, you talk about patience. That's incredible. And to go in every time and use the same numbers, finally it paid off for him. Now, there's no guarantee that's going to happen if you or I do it, but I mean, think about that. I appreciate the guy, and I'm kind of happy for him. Same numbers for 4 straight years. That was incredible, and well, I'm jealous. I wish it was me, but it's not. And so if I got to be happy for somebody, I'm happy for this guy that showed a little patience. How come I can't win the lottery, Shelton? I mean, it'd be nice. I do some good things with it. I'd sometimes. I'd be really generous with it. I'd buy a Lamborghini for myself,
Joe,
maybe.
Maybe it's karma for the plastic bags rather than reusable, or parking at the gas pump when you go into the store instead of moving out of the way for the next guy. I'm thinking there's some karma in there, brother.
Wow.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Greg Shelton, who's chiming in.
It's not wrong.
He obviously got a hell of a memory. That's for sure. Yeah, that's good. Well, one day I'll win the lottery. I'm not sure if I'm as patient as this guy, but one day it's got to happen. I love this next story because Josh Allen's fiance, her name is Haley Steinfeld, She was on, I'm not sure what it was, Pledge. It was some kind of a podcast or something, and she was being quizzed. All right. And, we'll just listen to this, and you can decide for yourself.
How many yards is a roughing the passer penalty? 15 yards. Name the 4 teams in the AFC East Division. Got the Buffalo Bills and the Bills' 3 sons.
I love that. Is that awesome? You got the Buffalo Bills and the Bills' 3 sons.
It's not
Do
wrong.
you think New England, the Jets, and Miami are going to have that on a poster board or on a chalkboard, a bulletin board somewhere? I think that is hilarious.
Took you a couple seconds to come up with the Dolphins there.
It did. Yeah, I kind of forgot about them. But I mean, I love that. It's genius. Now, if that was me, if I'm Josh Allen and that's my fiance, I'm taking her out to a nice dinner tonight because props to you. Josh Allen's a pretty cocky guy, but obviously his fiance is pretty cocky as well. And I love that answer. Play that again, Pledge, will you?
How many yards is a roughing the passer penalty? 15 yards. Name the 4 teams in the AFC East Division. Got the Buffalo Bills and the Bills' 3 sons.
It's not wrong.
I love that. That is outstanding. Props to you, Haley. You win the day. That's for sure. That was outstanding. I love that. Oh, my goodness. Big news of the day, though. And I know I don't want to bring anybody down. We need to laugh. We need to smile. We got to move on, right? I mean, we're all kind of in mourning for a little bit. Victor Wembanyama out for the season. We got to move past that. Best way to do that is to come out here to Round Table Pizza. I'm looking at cold beer sitting right in front of me, and I can't have one. Not yet, but I will. I did have some food, though, today, and it is fantastic. We are at the location at Park North, which is right off 410 in Blanco. It's right here at the corner. You really can't miss it. You turn down Blanco off 410, and you see us right here. Come on in and check us out. Grumpy Ass Greg Shelton is here, and we've got some other folks here as well. Alex is here. You don't know who Alex is, but he's one of the sales guys, so you can meet him. And then you can
is he puffy?
You can decide. He looks a little puffy today, actually. He does. Looks a little puffy.
I wasn't calling him puffy. I was wondering if he was the puffy sales person.
Yeah, it's the guy that calls the boss puffy. That's that guy. It's him. Come on out and see us, and we'll drown our sorrows. Victor Wembanyama. We've got some more sound from Chris Paul. We played some a little bit earlier in the show. We'll continue to do that, and we'll hear from Chris Paul and how the team is going to deal with the loss of one Victor Wembanyama for the remainder of the season. We'll do that when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, I want to tell you about Stevens Roofing. Boy, this cold weather is just tough, isn't it? It really is, man. And that's San Antonio, right? It's San Antonio. You never know what you're going to get. It's going to be hot one day, cold the next, raining the next, and you just never can tell. That's why your roof is so important, and that's why you need a reliable roofer you can trust, and that roofer is Stevens Roofing. They are the absolute best in the business, and I know this because, well, they've been in business in San Antonio and South Texas for so long, and you don't stay in business that long if you're not doing it right. Stevens Roofing is doing it right. And let's be honest, look, Texas roofs are not designed for winter weather because when the ice and snow melt, that water will seep into the little cracks. Then it refreezes. That creates bigger cracks, and that could result in loose shingles and leaks that could damage your home. Look, your roof shields your family. It shields everything you hold dear. So don't wait until you see the damage. Call the trusted professionals at Stevens Roofing. Let them come out and give you a free roof inspection. All you have to do is pick up the phone and give them a call, 210-785-0994, or you can visit them online at stevensroofing.net. Look, don't let Texas weather catch you off guard. Call Stevens Roofing. Stevens Roofing, protecting Texas families one roof at a time. That phone number again, 210-785-0994.
From a fender bender to a total loss, Davis Law Firm has a team of expert attorneys ready to get you back on the road with the verdict or settlement you deserve. Y hablamos español. Want more? Call the Fours. Davis Law Firm, San Antonio, 444-4444.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf, Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 16. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
that hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
This is Andrew Monaco, and the Aggies play here. 94-1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
We're making it. Somehow, some way, we're getting by. Even with the sad Wemby news done for the year, and you probably have heard about this already, unless you've been, I don't know, with your head in the sand somewhere, but Victor Wembanyama out for the remainder of the season with a blood clot in his right shoulder. And scary news when we first heard it, that's for sure. That news broke, I want to say, right around noon today, maybe a little bit before that. And I looked at that and I had to do a double take on it for sure, because it was like, this can't be real. This is crazy. Jason and I, by the way, Jason Minnix, not here today. He's got the day off. I'm Joe Reinagel. This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. But Jason and I were talking about this yesterday when the Spurs released their injury report, and it said that Wemby was doubtful with an illness. And we both looked at each other, kind of goofy looks, and it was Well, I mean, he was just sick, right? He missed a couple of games with an illness, 2-3 weeks ago. And, man, we're thinking he's sick again. But you kind of look at that, I guess. All-Star weekend, you're around a bunch of people. Who knows what's going on or what kind of people you meet that might have a bug that you catch. And so didn't think a lot about it until today, and it makes sense why he was doubtful, because obviously they were checking him out and making sure that he was okay, and obviously he's not. So our best to Wemby. Hopefully he recovers, and by all accounts he will, and there will be no lingering effects, and he'll be back better than ever for the San Antonio Spurs next year. Spurs do play tonight, by the way. They're in Austin. They take on the Suns. They're at the Moody Center, the first of a back-to-back. They've got the Suns tonight, and then they've got the Detroit Pistons tomorrow night. Well, a lot of the Spurs players were interviewed after this happened, because we had Bob Ballou on from KI Sports in Austin there a few minutes ago, and he was at the Moody Center when this was taking place, and they had already talked to the Suns. The Suns were out there, but the Spurs were still out on the floor practicing. And after this news broke, they got the news after they went out, and the Spurs did their interview session. Chris Paul was one of those guys who was interviewed. And obviously, when you listen to Chris Paul, you kind of hear he's a little bit down. I don't think there's any question about it, and you'll hear it in his voice. But Paul just basically told us what happened when they got the news that Wemby was done.
Yeah, but that's for us. You know what I mean? I talk about it all the time. He one of the best humans I ever met, in this league for a long time. So I think for us, we just, more than anything, we probably just miss him being around.
Is there a concern, obviously, for his health with this type of diagnosis?
We don't know, but so much. Like, we were here too, just like you guys.
Yeah, it's tough, and you can hear that. I mean, he just kind of down. So the question is, though, because they're not going to stop the NBA season because of Wemby's condition, the show must go on. And, well, Chris Paul was asked how they're going to handle things in Vic's absence.
First and foremost, I think everybody understands that, basketball is what we do and not who we are. So life and everything is so much more important. But for us, we know losing a big part of our team like that is by committee, and trust me, You can't replace Vic. I can't stand on a guy's shoulders and block every shot that comes to the rim, and aside from his basketball ability, his charisma and what he brings into the locker room, I think is what we'll miss the most.
Yeah, no question about it. Wembanyama looks like he's a funny guy. I mean, he's kind of that jokester, and he looks like he's a fun guy to be around. But when you think about the Spurs season, you think about Wemby's deal today, the blood clot done for the season, and just think back a few months ago when Greg Popovich had a stroke. I mean, it's been a rough season for the Spurs, a lot of adversity when you look at it that way. A couple of very, well, certainly, I won't say tragic, but certainly serious things that happened. Number one to Greg Popovich and now to Wemby, and Chris Paul talked about that.
And it's been extremely tough, tell you to say the least, especially with this organization and how they put everything into perspective, so obviously the Pop situation, knowing what he means to the league, Vic, and him playing his first All-Star game, I think for us, we know we got a job to do, but just like anybody, we worry about our people.
Worry about our people. So now Chris Paul, De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Harrison Barnes, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, the cast and crew has to go on. They got to figure out what they're going to do. And how does this season end? How does it take a turn now? Is it just disaster? Because, look, the names that I just mentioned there are good basketball players. I think they can win some games. We were all kind of teetering on maybe them making a play-in push to get into the playoffs. But, I wasn't sure that was going to happen with Wemby in the lineup. But without him in the lineup, I think it's going to be very difficult to do. So now you start thinking about, Spurs look like, unless something crazy happens, we'll be back in the lottery again. And a lot of people have been talking about that today, whether it's on YouTube or just out in the streets, on the social medias or wherever, talking about what happens next. And that is a question. And it's something I think that when you feel like Wemby's okay, and at this point in time I do, talking to the doctor, reading some reports, talking to some other people, it looks like he's going to be okay and everything's going to be all right. So now that we have that behind us and you feel a little bit better, yeah, I mean, it's natural to start looking and turning and looking to the future. What's going to happen? Look, the Spurs have about 30 games left, roughly, something like that remaining in the season. And well, they've got 23 wins. Realistically, you got to figure they need at least 10, 12, 15 more to get into the play-in. I'm not sure that that's going to happen. What do you do with De'Aaron Fox? I've seen a lot of people on YouTube suggest that maybe they ought to shut him down as well. He needs surgery. He's going to have surgery in the offseason on his hand. Is it time to shut him down? Just forget about this season. Just play the guys, play the season out, and figure out where you go from here. And let De'Aaron Fox get that surgery early, recover sooner, and then move on. A lot of questions to ask, and I'm sure the Spurs are asking the same questions. Where do we go from here, and what do we do? I think if you're Mitch Johnson, Greg Popovich, R.C. Buford, I think all of those guys, I mean, it's I know we're tanking last year. I get it. I understand that. But I think it's difficult for any franchise, I don't care who you are, to walk out onto the floor every night, no matter who you're playing, and say, we're just going to lose this game because we're tanking. I don't know. Maybe that's the case last year. Maybe not. Maybe it's the case moving forward this year. Maybe not. I just find it's sad that the Spurs are going through this. It's sad where this team has been over the last several years. It's sad that they haven't made the playoffs in quite a while now. And just when you think you're on the upward trend, something like this happens. And it's just a kind of a kick in the gut. It really is. But we'll move on. We'll see how they look tonight, see how they look tomorrow night in Austin. Then the rodeo road trip will continue for the Spurs before they can come back and get back home. You need to come back and get over here to Round Table Pizza. That's where you need to be. That's where we are, broadcasting live. We are at the Park North location. That's right at the intersection of 410 and Blanco, right here. You can't miss this big shopping center, and Round Table Pizza is right on the corner. So you can't miss us. You pull in, you'll see us, and we're right here. Come on out and have a pizza with us. Have a sandwich. The sandwiches are fantastic here as well. Plus, they've got a lot of cold beer in the refrigerator there. They've got 5 beers on tap over there that I can see that you can have. I see wine bottles sitting in front of us, red and white. So whatever you're into, they've got it here at Round Table Pizza. Come on out and see us. We'll be here until 6 o'clock tonight. And in fact, at 4 o'clock, about 30 minutes from now, their happy hour kicks off. They got a happy hour Monday through Friday from 4 to 7. So in about 30 minutes, their happy hour kicks off. So get on out here. Let's talk about it. Let's have a beer. Let's all relax, and we'll move forward. We'll do that, and we'll all do it together. We'll even invite Nate Ryan, our good friend from Ken's 5, the sports director over there. We'll see if he wants to join in on this, because he will join us. Coming up next, Nate was in San Francisco last weekend. So a lot of questions for Nate about that. A lot of questions for Nate about what's going on with Victor Wembanyama. Now we'll talk to him and have that discussion when we continue right here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Before we go, though, I mentioned that we're going to be having a golf tournament. We always do. We have a couple of golf tournaments here at San Antonio Sports Star. And our next one is coming up on April the 14th, and it is at a great location, the Golf Club of Texas. Fantastic location. Love going out there. And I tell you what, with what they've done to the golf course, it's incredible. Brand new cart paths all over the place. They have resided everything, zero-scaped a lot of that golf course as well. And it just is in pristine shape. And by the time April 14th rolls around, it's going to be in even better shape. That is for sure. Love going out there because it does feel like a country club, but it is open to the public 7 days a week. And I know the weather's a little bit cold right now, but the forecast says Sunday is going to be really nice. So here's what you need to do, and you ought to do it right now. Go to golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. That's where the best rates are always available. All right, go out there, make your tee time for Sunday. Get out there and play some golf. It looks like this cold snap's going to end and the weather's going to start getting good. You need to get that golf game in shape. And look, even tonight, you hungry? They've got a great restaurant out there. It's the 10 Cup Bar and Grill. The food is fantastic. They've got a nice dinner menu out there now. Head on out to the Golf Club of Texas. It is just a great place to go, great place to take your family, take your friends. The Golf Club of Texas. You know exactly where it is. It's right off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. Whether it's for dinner at the 10 Cup or around with your buddies, you would have your next tournament like we are out there. Go check them out. Again, best rates always online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, back to work. How'd the Spurs do?
And a recap of USA-Canada, the Four Nations final. Rob and I are also headed to Austin tonight to watch the Spurs again. We'll preview that. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Blitz is going to Vegas. Come along for an unforgettable Mega March weekend at Circa Las Vegas, March 27th through the 30th for opening day and the second weekend of the tournament. Thursday, March 27th, celebrate the start of the baseball season and watch all the games at the world's largest sportsbook, plus the ultimate March Hoops experience. Take in the action in the 6 pools and the 143-foot screen at Stadium Swim. Book now and use promo code BLITZ at circalasvegas.com. And join Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it. And now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay, things people love.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on
Rock's Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rock's the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rock's has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rock's know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com.
The Gomez Law Firm is one of the most trusted names in personal injury law across the state of Texas. We have Jose here with the Gomez Law Firm to share what makes working with your firm different than others in the area.
You know, we pride ourselves as being an open line of communications. We don't have an automated service. You're not going to ever dial our phone number and get some robot on the other line. You're always going to get a person 24/7. Our principal office is here in San Antonio. Mr. Gomez was born and raised here, practicing law here in San Antonio in his community for 50 years. There are not many attorneys that can say that.
Thank you to the Gomez Law Firm for continuing to fight for our community. The Gomez Law Firm is San Antonio.
If you've been injured, if you've been involved in an accident, you've been involved in a car wreck, call the Gomez Law Firm.
Visit joegomezlaw.com. That's joegomezlaw.com for one of the most trusted names in personal injury.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a Colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it.
Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix, he has the day off, but he's missing out because we're live here at Round Table Pizza, the Park North location right here at 410 and Blanco, enjoying some great food here at Round Table Pizza. I know Nate Ryan probably thinks he's out here or wishes he was out here to have some of this great pizza and beer and wine and everything else that they have out here. And joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line is the sports director for KENS 5 Television, Nate Ryan. Nate, how are you, my friend?
Joe, I'll tell you what, man, with the week we've had down here, All-Star Weekend into the news today, I could use a glass of wine, that and a slice. Come on now, brother.
No kidding. Well, this is the best place to do it. You got to keep this place in mind. That is for sure. And I'm glad you brought that up, Nate, because you were in San Francisco last weekend and with the All-Star festivities. And I've heard from some people that said, come to think of it, Wemby looked a little, not as much pep in his step. Did you notice anything when you were there?
Well, the thing is, he's usually at the podium on Sunday night at playing in the game. I thought his competitive intensity on Sunday night was arguably the best of anyone on the court. I mean, he really brought it, and you could tell he was exerting max effort. At the podium, just being around him during the regular season, he's always very pensive, and he takes his time in between answers and questions. I'll be honest, I didn't notice anything too far out of the ordinary. The only thing that I saw out of the ordinary was he and Chris Paul messing around in the skills challenge on Saturday night. I would have thought he would have locked in and tried to, make shots and not find loopholes in that system. But given the effort that he exerted in Sunday night's All-Star game, I mean, he was picking up guys full court defensively earlier on in games to 40. He was one of the guys trying the hardest, which is not saying a ton on Sunday night, given some guys who were just messing around. But I really didn't see anything where I thought, hey, 3 days from now, this guy's going to be shut down for the season.
Yeah, it really is incredible. And I don't know how you felt when the news came out, but I mean, it's kind of like you got to be kidding me. This can't be real. It's almost like a Luka Doncic trade. If this can't be right. And just to come out of the blue like that, although I don't know if you felt this way. We got the injury report yesterday and it said he was doubtful for tonight because of an illness. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of strange. The guy was just sick. So now you put two and two together and it kind of makes sense. But how did you react to this thing when you first heard it?
Well, looking at that injury report from yesterday, every single game that Victor has missed this season, which I think is about 5 or 6, I think 80% of them on that injury report, it's been listed as an illness. And you think illness, then you see him at the podium because he deals with a lot of allergies. And a lot of times, sometimes after games, he'll go to the podium and he looks really, really stuffy. He's got his hood up over his sweatshirt and he looks like he's just been sneezing and coughing all night long. And we attribute it here in South Texas to, allergies, and he's talked about that. But in terms of an illness, I just hopped on with a vein specialist from Methodist Hospital here in San Antonio. I think in terms of an illness, that's what thrombosis is. A blood clot is what it is. And I think when you're diagnosing that, it's less of an injury, more of an internal blood-related issue where there was probably some ambiguity over what exactly this was. And a blood clot isn't just, a sprained shoulder or a, torn ACL even. That's something that's internal, and it's something that's very serious that needs medical treatment right away. It's not something where it's just going to be one operation, one surgery that Victor's looking at. This is something where he's immediately going to, if he hasn't already, been put on blood thinners, and that's going to be something that's going to take a little bit of time. And after the blood thinners do their, due diligence and clear everything up in there, then the doctors, I'm assuming, will go back in to Victor's shoulder and take a look at, hey, what structurally in the bone do they need to remove? Any part of the rib cage? Do they need to perform an operation to ensure that this doesn't happen again? But right now, the immediate treatment, and from everything I've told, of course, I'm not a doctor, I just play one on TV, but it's the blood thinners which is the immediate form of treatment for Victor.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. We also interviewed a doctor early in the show and was telling us that it looks like with this and the thrombosis he's saying is I don't know. I'm not a doctor either in these words, but it's I guess this one's not as severe as it could have been. Just from looking at it, and so, but still scary when you're talking about blood clots. 21-year-old guy with blood clots, and look, there is precedence for this. There have been other athletes that have had this and have gotten over it. I guess Chris Bosh is the only exception, but he was a little bit older. So, scary thing. So let's look forward, Nate, because what do the Spurs do? We've gotten so many comments today either on our YouTube page, on the phone lines, on the socials, talking about, well, look, let's just tank the rest of the season. What do the Spurs do now? You've also got De'Aaron Fox, who needs surgery on his hand. Do you shut him down, let him go ahead and get that done? So he's ready sooner rather than later. How would you approach the rest of the season?
Well, I don't know if I would necessarily shut down De'Aaron Fox, because he, at the same time, and he's been on the record with it, that he needs to get integrated into playing not just with Victor Wembanyama, but he's going to have to get used to playing with a lot of these other guys. And I don't think, especially right now, you're sitting 3.5 games back of the last play-in spot. It's definitely a long shot. It always has been. That which I think timing-wise for Victor's injury, if the Spurs were sitting right now at 7-8 in the Western Conference and currently in the playoff mix, and they were knocking on the door of 5 and 6. Yeah, I think then it hurts a lot more. But the timing of it with Victor Wembanyama being 21, I don't really think it hurts as much, because the playoffs were never a lock. They were always going to be a stretch. It was going to take an epic push towards the end of the season. But if De'Aaron Fox were to be shut down, I think that's fine too. But I would like to see him play the next few weeks if he's able to, and he's clearly showed that he is, just to get integrated with playing with the other Spurs players. I mean, because you still got guys that they're going to be back next year, right? I mean, we think Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, guys that De'Aaron Fox is going to need to learn to play with and play off of moving into next season when Victor eventually returns. In terms of where do they go without Victor, it's going to be a lot tougher. I really don't know, because they were already shorthanded in the post when Victor was playing. They traded Zach Collins, obviously, to Chicago. Charles Bassey's been dealing with a knee injury. Right now, I think the only guy on this roster over 6'9" maybe is Bismack Biyombo, who's the 30-some journeyman veteran who they signed to a 10-day contract right before the All-Star break. In the interim, they're going to need to go out and get some just bodies to play down low, unless you're looking at playing with a lineup of guys all 6'7" or shorter. And in the NBA, I mean, you're just going to get bullied, and I think they'll probably find that to be the case over the next few days. Expect some roster moves here just to plug and play, feel guys out. But I say you let guys just sort of get more comfortable playing with Fox. That's what I kind of would want to see here now. But if I do think that the losses now are going to start piling up. I do, just because you take away a guy who's averaging over 20 points and 10 rebounds a game and is the focal point of your offense. But I really think that now is a time where the priority should be getting Fox integrated into the Spurs system. He's going likely to get a contract extension this summer, get him familiar with some of these other guys. If you win some games, great. But I think that should be the priority. The losses, I mean, you don't have any big guys right now. Your front court is absolutely decimated. I really don't know who's going to be starting at center tonight. Maybe you might be starting Bismack Biyombo. Like it's pretty
right.
Yeah.
I mean, or Jeremy Sohan, he's been in there, which I think has been a disaster. It will be interesting to see where the Spurs go in this offseason. Obviously, a big man is an important thing, but you talk about a Keldon Johnson, a Sohan, a Devin Vassell. I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure those guys are back. I always thought Devin Vassell would be a guy that would be a star, but man, he's been disappointing. Keldon Johnson minutes have been cut terribly. And then there's Jeremy Sohan, which is he's a poor man's Bruce Bowen in my mind. You probably don't even know who that is, man. See, I'm going back old school a little bit, Nate. And I know you're a young guy.
Bruce Bowen, the originator of the 3-and-D. And at the same time, Joe, everything you're saying, I totally agree with you in terms of Vassell's right now 24 years old, and he racked up his stats on teams that went 22-60 for 2 seasons. Maybe now a chance to get his stats back up. Maybe that makes him more attractive to other teams because the Spurs are also sitting on draft capital. I agree with you. I mean, Devin Vassell has had an underwhelming season, and I don't know if he's a long-term answer. You and I were having this conversation the other day where Keldon, Sohan, Vassell, I don't know if those three players are even starters on championship caliber teams. But I think maybe if what this does gives them a chance to put their stats, their numbers back up, and then maybe they're more attractive to potential other teams. Yeah, who knows?
Exactly. Yeah. I got to ask you one question.
You're good.
I know you're going to be on TV, man. I hope your hair's done. I hope your makeup's right and everything's good. But I got to ask you real quick. We were talking about my trip to Italy, and you told me, you texted me, said you found some video of that. Are you kidding me?
It was so cool. And I love going back and look at these archives because we had you in studio. We taped a little podcast with you, which will be dropping here in the next week, which was a ton of fun. And I asked you what your most memorable trip was covering the Spurs, and you told me it was in '99, the fall of '99, when you went to Milan with the team, and you said, just when you said it, you were like, I couldn't believe it. I was out there, I'd never been to Milan and Italy. Here I am, sports guy from San Antonio. And so I went back and, dusted off the cobwebs in the archive tapes, and I found 3 of your sports packages. Literally, you look the exact same, Joe. You really do.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You're standing in this square with a bunch of pigeons around you, and the edit's going to look great, but you've got the baggy, off yellow Ken's polo going on, tucked in, and it's a great look. And I'm going to send you the picture, man. But there was that, and then there was the trip that you went to New York City in 2003. I called Bill Taylor over because you were out there with Taylor in New York City, and I noticed on Bill Taylor in 2003, he's got the tucked in shirt to the jeans, but Joe, he's got the phone clipped to the belt. I'm like, oh, do your daughters know about this, Bill?
Yeah.
The phone clip? Come on.
Hey, that dude's a nerd, man. I'm going to tell you, he still is today. There's no doubt about it. Nate, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you got to do some TV work, my friend. Thank you so much, and we'll talk again soon.
Joe, you set the standard, brother. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Nate. Appreciate you. Nate Ryan, the sports director at Kins 5 Television, joining us via the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. It is so weird, man, when he texted me that. He said, I found a couple of packages from your trip to Italy. Just
what the hell are you doing in Milan?
After the Spurs won their first championship in 1999, back then you didn't have a lot of European players in the NBA. So the NBA champion would go to Europe and play the European champions, and it would be like an exhibition tournament, but it was a lot of fun. So obviously the Spurs went over there. I got to hook onto their coattails and go over there as well. And what was weird, and I was telling the story, Pledge, was the fact that with the time change, it would be like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and I'd be doing a live shot for the 5 p.m. show back here in San Antonio. And so it was just really weird doing that because you'd have to say good afternoon and realize where you were. But look, the Spurs have been very good to me over my career. I've gotten to do things and go places that I never would have gone, never even thought about going if not for the Spurs. So I really appreciate them letting me tag along during all their championship success.
How's the wine in Milan?
It's delicious, by the way. Although back in 1999, I wasn't much of a wine drinker like I am now. I could go back and I'd appreciate it because I'll tell you, Italian wines, they're good. They're really good. So I like the Italian wine. So I'd like to go back when I was such a knucklehead back in 1999, Pledge. I know
we
it's
all
hard
were.
to believe, but yeah, it's hard to believe. But it was a lot of fun. And I couldn't believe it when he told me that and told me that he had found those packages. So he's got to he needs to send me those pictures. I look exactly the same. Yeah, sure I do.
I believe him when he says that, by the way.
Yeah, sure you do. Well, when he sends the pictures, I'll show them to you. But no, a lot of fun. And again, I appreciate it. But it is going to be interesting to see what the Spurs do now and how they move forward. Because I'll be totally honest with you. With the exception of the 3 guys that we've been mentioning in Castle, Fox, and Wemby, I'm not sure anybody else is safe. And I'm not saying those guys won't be back, and I'm sure some of them will be. But look, I know you have had your comments about Devin Vassell and the money that he's making. Keldon Johnson, I mean, this guy, he's lucky to get 15 minutes a night now. And even Jeremy Sohan. And so I just am not sure if these guys, especially Keldon Johnson, I've felt this for a while, I'm just not sure he's a part of the Spurs' long-term plans. Devin Vassell, I think, is falling into that group as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what the offseason brings for these guys.
Well, think about it too, Joe. I mean, you've got the big De'Aaron Fox extension that we keep talking about coming up this offseason. Then the season after that, you're probably going to have to extend Wemby because he becomes extension eligible. And then the season after that, you've got Stephon Castle, and Wemby was first team all rookie last year and likely will win a Defensive Player of the Year award and be first team all NBA defense or defensive or whatever it may be that's going to make him a rookie max type guy. And Steph Castle's likely going to win Rookie of the Year this year, which would make him a rookie max extension eligible type guy as well. So that's a lot of money you have earmarked for the future going onto your books. Guys like $30 million Devin Vassell and $20 million Keldon Johnson, and even extending a Jeremy Sohan for more than 10 to 15 million seems excessive at this point when you're going to have those kind of financial commitments down the road.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. They're going to have to do something and figure that out. It'll be interesting to see, but I think a big is a priority for this team in the offseason. I mean, they've got to get somebody to protect Wemby. And look, Wemby's an outside player. He's just not a guy that's going to go down in the paint much. And so you got to find a big guy and bring him in to kind of protect him and let Wemby do what he does on the outside. It's going to be interesting offseason. That is for sure. But I just don't think anybody is safe unless your name is Castle, Wemby, or Fox. And other than that, I think everybody is expendable at this point in time, although not everybody will leave. I mean, let's face it. So that's where we're at, and that's where we're going. Again, we've been talking a lot about it, folks, and I know there's still some comments here, and everybody wants to comment and have their say on the Wemby injury is not the right thing. The blood clot that he's got out for the season, most likely. The doc did tell us, though, and I think that it's interesting to say, and what makes me feel better about all of this is if the Spurs were in the playoff chase, there's a possibility. He didn't say it would happen, a possibility. You know, you could be a 2 or 3 week, miss 2 or 3 weeks and be back and ready to go. So I think the fact that the Spurs are in the situation that they're in is why the Spurs are going to shut him down. And why not? And you might as well do that. Shut him down, get him healthy, get him ready to go for next season and move. Because if the Spurs are going to do anything, it's got to be next season, doesn't it? It absolutely has to be next season. You can't wait any longer. These skipping steps and all of that stuff is over. It's time to move and move now. And the Spurs have the bullets to get that done this offseason. Oh, we'll talk a lot more about that. Plus, we got a lot more to deal with. We're at Round Table Pizza, though, so you can come watch the show live if you'd like. It's really easy to get to. We're at the corner of Loop 410 and Blanco. Happy hour is about to start here at Round Table Pizza. It gets started at 4 o'clock. If you've been waiting till 4 o'clock to get out here, well, get out here because it's time. Happy hour is coming up. You can have a cold beer, some wine, whatever you want, some great food. They got pizza specials. They got great sandwiches, everything you need to kick your Friday or end your Thursday off in the right way. You'll do that, all right? Come out and join us here at Round Table Pizza. We will continue here at Round Table Pizza on the other side when the Blitz continues on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA.
If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, make sure you get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. If you need your logo on a nice golf shirt, a fishing shirt, a dress shirt, any kind of shirt, half zip, hoodie, Sam will get you taken care of. If you need t-shirts screen printed, go see Sam. And if you need caps, Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, just waiting for your logo. And all the popular cap brands like Katie Caps, Nike, Cap America, Richardson 112 style trucker caps, and they are in stock. Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from, all kinds of industries, medical, restaurant, construction, schools, leagues, to name a few. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands, nor order too big, nor order too small. Call 210-824-3900 or get into that massive showroom on San Pedro, a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson from my good friends over at Prize Picks. Hoops are here, baby. It's time to turn the page and start playing games we can win. And now you can win up to 1,000 times your money over on Prize Picks just for doing what you love, watching basketball and picking those that you like. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on sports action. There's over 10 million of us doing it. You should be there too. And right now, there's no better time to get in on the hoops action. If you think Steph Curry can get more than 5 3-pointers this week, now's the time. Is the freak going to get 35? I don't know. I do know this. I feel comfortable Wemby's going to get a couple of blocks. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5, and you don't even need to win. You can receive a $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And have you ever played Taco Tuesday? That's right. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks offers promotions that can lead to big payouts. Here's how you play. Go download the app today and use the code ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I'll say it again. Download the app, use the code ALAMO, and get $50 instantly after you play your first lineup. Prize Picks. Go run your game.
The most exciting weekend in college basketball starts here. Don't miss the 2025 State Farm College Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championships. Witness the nation's top dunkers and sharpshooters battle it out live in person. One epic night of unbelievable skill and electrifying energy. Thursday, April 3rd at the Frost Bank Center. Tickets are going fast. Secure your seats now at Ticketmaster.com. See you April 3rd for the State Farm College Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championships. The most exciting weekend in college basketball starts here. One night, pure action. Don't miss it.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Davis Law Firm secures important verdicts and settlements for Texans hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck. Many in the millions of dollars. No case is too big or too small. And remember, there's no fee unless we win. So if you want more, call the Fours. Davis Law Firm, San Antonio, 444-4444.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers, not available in all states.
Guys, if you're feeling tired or low on energy, it could be your testosterone. Game Day Men's Health in Alamo Heights offers a simple 3-step process to get you back to feeling your best. Call 210-900-3691. That's Game Day Men's Health, 210-900-3691.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, it is the big news of the day. The San Antonio Spurs have lost all-star Victor Wembanyama for the season. Team announced he's been diagnosed with a deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder, which is a form of a blood clot. Obviously, the Spurs have a game tonight in Austin. They're taking on Kevin Durant and the Suns. Televised on TNT, they'll tip things off from the Moody Center at 8:30. And De'Aaron Fox expected to sign a big extension this summer.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minnix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52. Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Well, happy Thursday, everybody. This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix has the day off. Really appreciate all of you joining us today. I know it's been a weird day for everybody here in San Antonio and South Texas, and with the news that Victor Wembanyama done for the season with a blood clot. Scary moment there at the beginning, but I think the scariness is wearing off a little bit, at least for me it is, as we move forward. I think he's going to be okay. Physically, looks like he's going to recover from this and be back. It's just not going to happen this year. So we've been talking a lot about where do the Spurs go from here and what do they do? You can continue to do that. If you've got some thoughts on that, we welcome them. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for doing that. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also get me on the socials. It's at Joe Reinagel 210 on pretty much everything. So everything that you want to do, any social that you're on, it's at Joe Reinagel 210, or however you're listening, we appreciate it. You can give us a call here at the radio station, 656-3776, 656-ESPN. But I got to ask you guys a question as you ponder the whole Victor Wembanyama thing. There is an event tonight that we haven't talked about at all besides the Spurs game, and that is the hockey game. And I know Minnix, if he was here, he would have brought it up, 10, 12, 20 times already. I'm not a big hockey guy, so I haven't. But I want to ask you this question because I have been watching, as you watch, I don't know whether it's SportsCenter or FS1 or whatever sports channel you watch or all of them, however you do it. I keep hearing this. Well, this is the biggest, most anticipated hockey game since 1980. And I'm trying to understand that because I don't. Now, if you're not familiar with what happened in 1980, shame on you. But if you're not, that's when the United States in the Olympics beat the Russians. And the Russian team was just a juggernaut at that time. And the U.S. team was just a bunch of, I don't know how you put it, not untalented guys. Because
scrappy nobodies?
Scrappy nobodies, a perfect way to put that, Pledge. And again, the Russians were a juggernaut. Nobody gave Team USA a chance at winning that gold medal game, and it was for the gold medal. And when the United States won that game, I mean, you talk about patriotism in this country, and everybody came together, and it was just incredible. It was, it's a moment I'll never forget. I'm not a hockey fan, but I watched that, and I did, and it was fantastic. And the longer it went, you think, man, we got a chance. We got a chance. It's just incredible. We have a chance. And sure enough, they ended up winning that and winning the gold medal. So I look at that and then, and because I remember that. I remember it. It was a long time ago, but I do remember it. And then I hear people say this tonight, Team USA versus Canada, 2025, the most anticipated hockey game since 1980. I'm like, baloney. Is it really? I mean, is that how you guys feel? Is anybody looking at this game tonight as anything more than, I don't know, a grudge match? The only reason this thing is getting any play at all, the only reason is because there were 3 fights in 10 seconds. Other than that, nobody would give a damn. Would you? I'm trying to find out, and somebody's going to have to help me with this. You're going to have to help me with this because I just don't understand the hype over this hockey game tonight. I really don't. And I'll be totally honest with you. I don't think I'll watch a second of it. I don't know. Maybe I will just because I'm a geek and I might tune in for a minute. But I just don't get it. So somebody please explain it to me why everybody is billing this hockey game as the most anticipated game since the 1980 game, United States, and I guess it was the USSR back then. It wasn't Russia. But either way, I'm trying to understand. So somebody please, and if you can't, let me know that too. If you feel like I do, please let me know that. If you don't, I'm trying to figure it all out, and I just can't figure it out. And you know what? We're getting some comments on the YouTube page now talking about booing the national anthem because the Canadians booed during the playing of the national anthem. So are the Beantowners going to boo during the Canadian national anthem? That's the biggest thing that everybody's looking forward to. It just makes no sense to me.
Question,
How
Joe?
do you feel about this?
I mean, I'm indifferent because, I'm indifferent towards hockey for the most part. But as it pertains to parallels to 1980, correct me if I'm wrong, 1980, that goal, that wasn't even a gold medal game. Finland was the gold medal game, but that match.
Now, don't let facts get in the way, Pledge.
But that match was also kind of undercurrented by political tension between the USSR and the United States due to, I believe, the Cuban Missile Crisis.
It wasn't the Cuban Missile Crisis, but it was something. We didn't like each other back then.
No.
Ronald Reagan got elected.
Cold War.
And yeah, it was all of that stuff.
So, like, the Cold War was kind of an undercurrent in terms of the two not liking each other and stuff like that. Well, right now, there's this whole tariff thing in America between Canada and the U.S., and that's kind of also a political undercurrent to what is going on over there.
Well, the political undercurrent is that they're upset because, Trump wants to make them the 51st state of the United States. Right. I mean, so I get that. I understand that. And, they can be mad about that if they want to. That's fine. But you don't boo our national anthem. I mean, that kind of irritates me. And I get that. I don't want to see that. And quite frankly, I hope the Beantowners there tonight don't do that to Canada.
I hope so, too. But do we have a moral leg to stand on?
No, we don't. But I'm just saying, look, they shouldn't have done that. It's disrespectful no matter what. And it's going to be disrespectful when the folks there at the arena do it during the Canadian national anthem. But don't tell me that this hockey game tonight is the equivalent to what took place in 1980. It's not even close. It's not even in the same league as that.
I mean,
it's not, because at the end of the day, this game means nothing.
No.
It means absolutely nothing. It's an exhibition game at best.
I mean, that's exactly what it is it not?
That's all it is.
Like, this takes the place of their All-Star break.
That's all it is. It's an exhibition game. So I just had to get that out because I've been hearing this all day. The most anticipated game since 1980. And I just want to throw something through the TV when I hear that. It's just ridiculous on the face of it. Exactly. And that's fine. But it's ridiculous on the face of it. It's not even close, not in the same league. Watch it if you want. If you enjoy it, that's fine. God bless you. But just don't tell me that this is the equivalent of anything. I don't know if this is the equivalent of a Thursday night Dallas Stars, Las Vegas Golden Knights game. I'd rather watch that, to be honest with you. All right, I feel better.
Do you?
Well, kind of, yeah.
You're a little worked up.
I had to get that off my chest, Pledge, because I've been hearing that all day. And I'm not hating. People on YouTube think I'm hating. I'm not hating. It's just not the equivalent. I mean, if you're going to tell me about something that's the equivalent of one of the greatest moments that I've ever witnessed, and I'm old enough to have witnessed that back in 1980, that it's just, I just don't see what it just, don't tell me it's the same thing, because it's not even close to the same thing.
It's not the same thing, but I do believe it's being hyped as such.
Well, it is, but it shouldn't be. That's my whole point. It's my whole point. It shouldn't be hyped as that, because it's not even close to that. And had we not had 3 fights in 10 seconds, nobody would give a damn about this game. Nobody, except die-hard hockey fans. Other than that, it wouldn't be talked about. You wouldn't see it on the national shows. You wouldn't see it anywhere. It's all because of that, and it just irritates me, Pledge. That's all. But I feel better. I'm good.
I'm glad you feel better.
I'm going to make it now.
I know it's been a rough day for you with the Wemby news and this, and there's been a whole get off my lawn kind of day.
And I needed a good get off my lawn moment, and that was it. And I'm just saying, and if the producers or the executives of ESPN were here, or Fox Sports or CBS Sports or every other outlet that's telling me to watch this game because it's the equivalent to this, I'd like to just yell at them, just right in their face. Get off my lawn. Just do it.
Is this game going to solve political tensions?
No, it's not.
Because I do believe that's what the 80s game did.
Well,
I believe it ended the Cold War.
I don't think it did. But what I think it did was it brought this country together for sure. And that is and that's
you don't think that game's going to do this?
I don't think so. I really don't think it's going to have the same impact as all of that. I tell you what will help everybody, whether you like that game tonight or not, whether you're upset about Victor Wembanyama, you come here to Round Table Pizza. And sometimes you just need some good comfort food. And a nice pizza is the best way to do that. A good pizza is that comfort food that you need on a day like this. Not to mention an ice cold beer, which they've got plenty of because I'm staring at it right here. I'm also looking at 5 taps over there that they got on draft that you can have as well. They've got sandwiches here. They got wings. They got everything. And it is officially happy hour here at Round Table Pizza right now. So get on down here. We're at the Park North location, which is at the right at 410 and Blanco. You can see us. It's not hard to find at all. Come on in here and hang out with us. All right. The show's till 6, but you know what? You come in here, I'll hang and have a beer with you. I don't mind that at all. And you can help me help Shelton pick up all the equipment, which I do every time we have a remote. But okay, I just told a little lie there. Sorry about that. Hey, when we come back, I want to talk a little college football because the SEC is trying to do something that is odd, but I think it just might work. And then there's the Notre Dame thing I can have a rant on as well, which is always a good thing. We'll do all of that. We continue here from Round Table Pizza, the Park North location, 410 in Blanco. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Do you ever scroll through social media only to find yourself bombarded by bad news, worse comments, hot takes, picture-perfect families, yet another humble professional update? It's hard not to get wrapped up in how everyone else is doing, but imagine how you would feel if you spent just 45 minutes focused on how you are doing. At Cerebral, they make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication personalized to you. And the best part, Cerebral offers in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. In fact, 72% of people say they felt better in just 12 weeks. Cerebral is proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs. Just like athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health is just as important. And Cerebral is here to help you build a strong foundation for your overall well-being. Take that first step. Visit Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral. Make time for Mind Time.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Many of the successes you've had began with a great opportunity. Now, here's another one. Get started on your degree or certificate in San Antonio. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs, faster onboarding, and more from University of Maryland Global Campus. Get personalized local support services and take online or hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code LIFE.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases. We do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a Colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. How can I help you? My schedule is crazy. I just want some me time. We could all use a sanctuary from stress. Why not turn your bedroom into the place to decompress with our selection of comfortable beds, pillows, decor, mood lighting, and so much more? Every time you step in there, it's nothing but me time. I mean, you time. Sounds like a dream. Here to make your me time dreams come true. Visit us in-store or at IKEA-USA.com/sleep to create a comfy, blissful bedroom today.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code LIFE.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Man, I love the folks on our YouTube page. I'm going to tell you that. I've started a war between the United States and Canada. It's interesting, but that's okay. That's all right. Hey, you guys, you want to watch the game tonight? You watch. I hope you enjoy. I'm getting called out here. You should read us the ratings for tomorrow. I'll do that. And you're going to be the only one watching. So there'll be one. Maybe two. I think probably A.J. Hoffman will watch. Minnix isn't even going to watch. He's going to be out there in Phoenix doing whatever he's going to be doing. He won't be watching this. Nobody's going to be watching it. I'm telling you. Just if you want to watch it, watch it. Just don't tell me it's the same as what happened. One of the best things that ever happened to this country. Hi, everybody. This is the Blitz. Here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix, I just mentioned it. He's on his way to Phoenix, Arizona. Some kind of music festival out there he's going to be doing.
Innings Fest.
So what is it called, Pledge?
It's called Innings Fest. It's something they do during spring training out there in Arizona.
So it's a concert, right?
Yeah.
Music festival?
Yeah, it's Incubus and a few other bands. 2-day event usually happening through the weekend. It's very awesome.
Great. Well, that's great. That's great. So Minnix will be having a good time, I suppose, if that's what you call a good time. But yeah, that's good. I hope he enjoys that. Hey, we are at Round Table Pizza, though, the Park North location, which is right here at 410 in Blanco. Come out here and see us. It is happy hour, by the way. And I was looking for the specials. I know they have a big family feast. They've got a large pizza that they're unveiling, which is pepperoni, grilled chicken, and bacon. And Pledge tells me we got some breaking news.
According to NFL Network's Tom Pelissaro, 7-time All-Pro guard Zach Martin has informed the Cowboys that he plans to retire.
How about that? Now, I saw a couple of people say that. I went and looked for it and couldn't find it, but he's going to retire. Interesting. And I wonder if he does, Pledge, or is this just his way of getting out of the Cowboys without any hard feelings? Because I've heard that, too, that he just wants to get out of Dallas for whatever reason. But if he's going to retire, that certainly does not surprise me any at all. I mean, the guy's been banged up a little bit. Ed Werder now reporting the same thing. And so, look, good that he's doing it now and not stretching this out and waiting so the Cowboys have an opportunity to fill that spot. But Ed Werder says a Cowboys source confirms that Zach Martin has decided to retire from the NFL. One of the most competitive and accomplished players in franchise history. Martin begins the 5-year waiting period now for the Hall of Fame, and we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, it's all over Twitter right now.
Should he start signing HOF 2029?
No, only Tom Brady can do that.
Or 2030, I mean?
Yeah, only Tom Brady can do that.
Oh, okay.
He's the only one.
But he'll be a first ballot guy, though, right?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I think he's one of the best offensive linemen to ever play the game. The guy was fantastic. Probably should be, but will he be? That's the key question. And so at this point in time, I'm just not sure, to be honest with you. And I like the guy too. And that's a big loss for Dallas, although I'm just not sure that he had much left in the tank anyway. But it will be interesting because I've heard him linked to the Cincinnati Bengals and as he was trying to decide. And I've heard that if he didn't retire, that he was going to jump from the Cowboys anyway. And so, I don't know. Will he stay retired? Will he come back? Will he go somewhere else? We'll wait and see. But as of now, according to several outlets, Zach Martin is going to retire from the NFL.
Well, I've seen a lot of Texans fans clamoring for him too because of the putrid play of the interior of that offensive line this past season. And to be honest, I don't know if I want him just because he has been banged up. He has been hurt. And this year specifically, it took a massive toll on his play.
Well, I mean, and think about it. I mean, seriously, think about it. These guys, especially a guy like Zach Martin in the trenches like that, those guys, man, it's tough. It is tough. I mean, those guys get banged around. We don't see it all the time. Their knees get, squished this way and that way and
rolled up on.
And it's got to take its toll on the body. And this guy was an iron horse for most of his career. I mean, he was in there play after play after play after play. So if this is the case, it is the end of the road for Zach Martin. I'm not surprised. Most people predicted that, including me. But then you keep hearing reports of other teams that are interested and other teams he may be interested in as well. So we'll see what happens. Does he stay retired or does he not? I kind of think he does, and I kind of hope he does. Again, I'll go back, Pledge, to what I always say, man. I don't want to see the great ones stay in the game too long. Mm-hmm. I don't want to watch them play bad, whatever it is, football, basketball, baseball, whatever the case may be, when I want to remember them as being the absolute best that they were. And Zach Martin certainly fits into that category, best that there was. And
what is it we heard a bunch of people, including out at Super Bowl this past year, talking about? When you start thinking about retirement, it's time to hang it up because you're mentally just not in it anymore.
Well, and that could be very true. And I think that's what you're going to see with Travis Kelce. It looks like he's leaning that way as well. And I just think it's at a point in time for guys like that. Now, with Zach Martin and Travis Kelce are two different guys, because Travis Kelce is going to move on, and he's going to go on and do something in the media most likely. He's already got the podcast where they're making a ton of money. Zach Martin, I'm not sure. I've never seen him be interested in anything like that. But do you want to go to training camp? Do you want to go to OTAs? Do you want to keep your body in the shape that it has to be in? I mean, at some point in time, that stuff gets old. And you just don't want to do it anymore. You want to go and live your life and enjoy the money you've made, and that's the end of it. So if it's the end of the career for Zach Martin, it's a sad day. It just adds to a sad day, that's for sure. But I'm happy for him if that's the decision he's made to go on and do it while he still is at the top of his game, so to speak, even though he was banged up this year. So
hits just keep coming today, huh?
Man, no kidding. You got you got Wemby news. You got the news of Zach Martin now.
No spring game.
No spring game at the University of Texas. They're taking that out. You know what's funny though, Pledge? I'm sitting here looking at Twitter, and I didn't realize this guy was here at Round Table Pizza, but Eloy Tiarina is over there, and he is offering to give Wemby his veins. Now, I'm not sure if your veins would be any good, Eloy, but I'm just saying. But he's the offer is on the table. All right, the offer is on the table. So that's very generous of you, my friend. Very generous of you. Eloy's here with his brother. You should be here as well. We're out here at Round Table Pizza, and I tell you what, I can see, and I hope you don't mind, they're enjoying a couple of cold beers right there. I see a pizza on their table that looks fantastic. There some breadsticks it looks like you got there. So they're having a great time, and so are we. And so you need to be as well. Round Table Pizza, the Park North location, that's where we are at right now. And having a great time. So come on out and see us. Even though it is a little bit cold, I get that. The weather's chilly. It's nice and warm in here. There's no problem. Is it going to get any worse, though? All right, now I figure with the weather forecast the way that it is right now, we probably needed an expert. We've had an expert with Wemby. We need an expert on the weather. So I don't know. The best guy I know is a guy by the name of Bill Taylor. He's the chief meteorologist at KENS 5 Television, and he will join us next when we continue here at Round Table Pizza. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, I do want to tell you about something that I'm very happy about. I got to tell you. Jason Minnix and I have been going to Dr. Connie Heyer's Plastic Surgery and Med Spa, and we've been doing this thing called M-Sculpt Neo. Now, what that is a non-invasive, muscle-building, fat-burning procedure. There is no downtime, but it's really like doing a bunch of crunches. In fact, they say it's like doing 20,000 crunches in 30 minutes. So it kind of jumpstarts your muscles, right? It's an amazing thing, and it feels pretty good too. You just lay in this room, you stick these paddles that are like magnets, you stick them on your stomach, they strap them down, and they turn it on, and they leave you in there for 30 minutes. And it really feels good. You just kind of doze off from time to time. It is fantastic. You don't have to spend hours in the gym. It's a 30-minute session, and right now they're offering 15% off a M-Sculpt Neo package. All you have to do is call Dr. Heyer's Plastic Surgery and Med Spa. The number to call is 210-494-8446. Tell them the Blitz sent you, or you can go to findyourbeautiful.com. Look, the M-Sculpt Neo is not the only thing they do there. Whatever you want to look better, to feel better, they can take care of you there. You can find all the specials that they have, all the services that they provide at findyourbeautiful.com. That's Dr. Connie Heyer's Plastic Surgery and Med Spa. Give them a call, 210-494-8446.
The Morning Huddle.
It's his food sack.
He's
like a kangaroo. He's just like, oh, you need some? Let me reach into my food sack. He'll be like, oh, I'll pull out whatever you want. You a peanut butter sandwich? What do you got here?
Want some goldfish crackers? Got those.
I got those too. You need a Werther's?
Rob's like a
Werther. How are you on butterscotch, young man?
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Rox Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rox the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rox has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rox know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit roxdiscountvitamins.com.
With basketball season in full swing, make watching the game a little bit more exciting with your chance to win money with Underdog, one of the leading sports apps, and you can play in Texas. You could win up to 1,000 times your money with Underdog, playing the pick'em game where you pick higher or lower on predicted stats. You can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right on your pick'em entry, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Yep, turn $1 into 1,000 with your hoops knowledge. Download the Underdog app and sign up using my promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Transform your water with Kinetico. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. Offer ends soon.
Call 656-PURE, Kinetico.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
That's one thing about TV weather guys. They got these snappy responses all the time. They're always like snappy responses. I don't know what it is about those TV weather guys. They're just a different kind of cat. That's for sure. Hi, everybody. This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We are live at Round Table Pizza, the Park North location right here at Blanco and Loop 410. Come on out and see us. It is happy hour out here. We're going to be here until 6 o'clock tonight, but we'd like for you to join us. And they got some great hot pizza. The pizza is fantastic. They've got great sandwiches as well. And you just need to come on out here. Drown your sorrows with all the Victor Wembanyama news, the Zach Martin news, and this extremely cold weather that we're having to deal with. And I can only blame one person who is joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line, and that's my good friend, KENS 5 Chief Meteorologist, Bill Taylor. How are you, Billy?
My man, Joe Reinagel. How you doing, Joey?
I'm doing good, man.
I want to know
what the hell is.
I need you to. I want you to define snappy. What does that even mean right now?
Well, I mean, Pledge said, it feels like I've got to come back right now, or it feels like it's time for you. Did you say that, or is Pledge making that up?
I did say that. I did. Because I'll tell you what. You had a great point. I sent you that video where somebody agrees with you 100% on, just give me the feels like then. Why do I need a temperature for?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
No, it does. And brother, it feels so cold. We were down to single digit feels like this morning. We got down to a record 21 on the thermometer, but we factored in that 15-mile-an-hour wind early on, and it felt like 8 or 9 degrees this morning in San Antonio. It got down to like 4 to 5 up in Kerrville. Fredericksburg got closer to 0 on a wind chill earlier today. So here's the good news, okay? The good news, then the bad news. The good news is we're starting to kind of round the corner on these temperatures. I mean, yes, it's still extremely cold outside, but we won't be going down to the lower 20s in San Antonio in the metro. Tonight, upper 20s will be the coldest we get. And then by tomorrow, we're getting above freezing. We stay in the 30s, so that's the bad news. We're not going to get much warmer, but we won't be going back to the 20s on Friday night and Saturday. It looks like we'll probably get down to about 32 on Saturday morning and then up to about 42 by Saturday afternoon. But there's other big news. We're kind of shifting because that temperature forecast, since it is improving a little bit and we're getting out of the lower 20s and the winds have died down, well, now we've got precipitation, Joe. Now we've got a chance of seeing some freezing drizzle and freezing rain on Friday night and maybe early Saturday. I think up until about 2 in the morning Saturday is going to be the chance. It looks like it could be about 8 p.m. Friday up until about 2 a.m. Saturday that we get a little bit, a very little bit too, by the way, of freezing drizzle and rain. You see, the air is very dry. So I don't expect a whole lot of this to reach the surface on Friday night. So that's the good news. That's the good news.
No, that is good news. So you don't think it's going to start till about 8 o'clock tomorrow night?
Exactly.
That's what you're thinking? Okay.
It's a batch of precip coming out of the Gulf that probably starts up late, like I said, 8, maybe 8:30, and then goes until the overnight. And then all day Saturday is going to be a wet day. It's going to be cold because we're not going to get out of the 40s. I mean, we'll get up to about 43 or 44 is what I'm hoping. But we're going to have a good, steady, light rain most of Saturday. The chance for anything frozen is going to be Friday night into about 2 or 3 in the morning. And then we should get above freezing by sunrise Saturday and stay above freezing.
That's awesome. Sunday, at least from everything I've seen, looks pretty decent, right?
Yeah, make your plans Sunday. Outdoor plans, last day of rodeo, right? I mean, you've got a beautiful sunny day and temperatures in the 60s on Sunday afternoon. We finally kind of thaw out of this Arctic blast, but this has been incredible. I mean, especially when you consider it was a La Nina winter, which means warmer, drier. And here we go at 3 Arctic blasts, this being the third one. And the second one that we got this winter was the one that we got a little bit of snow. So it's really, that's why I've always said I don't put a whole lot of stock in those long-range La Nina and El Nino forecasts. You still got to play the game. You still got to let this play out. And when you do, sometimes we get these big polar plunges like this, you know?
Well, hey, we're visiting with Bill Taylor, Chief Meteorologist at KENS 5 Television. All I got to say, Bill, is that damn groundhog is pretty good.
Let me tell you something. That Puxatawny Phil, he's getting a little bit better. Yeah, you know, even for South Texas, where, you know, Joe, we actually look at the Chupacabra's habits on Groundhog Day. And if the Chupacabra sees his shadow, then it's 6 more weeks of terror. And so you've got to watch out for that. How's the pizza over there, bro?
The pizza's fantastic here at Round Table Pizza. I tell you, we got some friends in here enjoying that and a cold beer and just having a good time, staying out of the cold weather.
Well, you got it made, man. That's how you beat the cold. Come on, man. You've got it made. You were never able to do that over here at 5,400.
That's it. And the best part about it, I don't have to deal with Minnix today. He's off today, so solo show, and it's been a nice day. Other than the fact that Victor Wembanyama is out for the season, and Zach Martin is retiring, and so it's kind of been a sad day in that respect.
Very sad. Everybody here is really down. You can feel the energy just leave the building, leave the city when something this huge happens. I hope this kid can recover for next season. It's something that we're really going to have to be praying about, Joe.
Yeah, well, no doubt. And we've talked to a doctor. We talked to a doctor earlier, and he says that looks like they ought to be able to have this under control. And anything unforeseen, if there's not, then he should be fine and be ready for next season. So, and he even said, look, if the Spurs were in the playoff chase, there's a chance he could come back in 2 or 3 weeks. So, but I think they're going to be cautious and shut him down for the rest of the season. So that made me feel a little bit better. And then we get the news about the Cowboys offensive lineman Zach Martin retiring. That's sad news. And so it's just been one of those days. Yeah. So that's why we're here, though. That's why I wanted to have you on. I seriously did, because I did see the forecast where there was some rain in it, and with the cold weather, that obviously
and I'm glad
that can get pretty dangerous, right?
Exactly, Joe. I mean, you got to be careful going to Austin tomorrow night, because let me tell you something. This is going to be an I-35 event, and I know we've got the Spurs playing up in Austin. We got a lot of people from San Antonio going to make that trip to the state capitol for the game tomorrow night. So please keep an eye on road conditions. You're going to be safest on I-35. That's a very highly traveled interstate. It means that road stays warmer than secondary roads. Just be very cautious on bridges and overpasses Friday night, because that's going to be the first spot where you'll start getting some of the icing. I'm hoping the TxDOT gets out ahead of this and gets some of that brine down, and we can at least be melting what does stick. But I just don't see a whole lot accumulating. We're looking at accumulation forecasts that are saying maybe 1/10 of an inch on the I-35 corridor, and that would truly be most likely on a bridge or an overpass, because it's surrounded by air. So air's always colder than the ground. And as long as a road is on the ground, it's going to be a lot longer before you start seeing icing on any kind of road surface. So as long as you're staying on that major thoroughfare where there's enough traffic that road stays warmer than usual, then I think you're going to be okay. But yeah, please keep an eye out on the road conditions heading to Austin on Friday night.
All right, Bill Taylor. Always appreciate it, my friend. By the way, you got a lot of fans on our YouTube page here, except for one guy I think is trying to start a fight. He says, you have the best hair in the business. And I'm like, no, it ain't even close. It ain't even close, buddy.
Joe, you have hair envy, and you always had this hair of mine. It's actually beautiful. It's incredible. Actually, it's quite ridiculous how nice it is. And this little splash of gray is working for me right now. I've moved away from the products and just kind of spray it. It's been an incredible ride. You can follow my hair on Twitter, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Your hair Twitter page is more popular than yours.
Exactly.
That's for
it's
sure.
Done much better, brother.
All right, Billy.
Always a pleasure talking to you, bro, and keeping people ahead of this weather. Like I said, Friday night, but then Saturday looks like a cold, wet day. So just be careful on the roads either way, because, again, icing is very dangerous. I'm hoping that we don't see too much accumulation, but it's going to be an I-35 event Friday night into early Saturday, brother.
All right, and tune into Bill Taylor on Ken's 5. He'll keep you up to date on what's happening there. Bill, thank you, sir. We'll talk soon.
Always love you, brother. God bless, and have a good one.
All right, brother. Love you too. All right, Bill Taylor joining us via the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. Well, that makes me feel better, Pledge, that it's just going to be cold and not a lot of wet weather except for maybe Friday night. That's why we have Bill Taylor in here to keep us updated on that.
But it'll warm up in time. We didn't have to worry about it by the time we wake up.
Well, I hope so. But, I wanted to play golf on Saturday. And it looks like we may have to change those plans to either next weekend or Sunday. I'll have to see.
Well, I got
Sunday's
a tea
supposed to
time
be
Sunday.
good. You do?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't invite me.
Well, it's not my tea time.
Wow.
I got invited to a different golf course that day.
Okay. Well, geez. I see how it is.
I can't
That's
Sunday
fine.
this time.
All right.
You had already started bailing. I had to make plans.
I did. Dude, I'm not playing golf in 45-degree weather. Are you kidding me? I mean, I love to play golf, but I'm not doing that. That's tough.
I get it. You're scared of me.
No, I'm not scared of you. I'm scared of the cold weather. That's for sure. I'm really scared of that. I don't like to have a lot of clothes on. You know, when it's hot, you can wear shorts and a nice shirt, and you're fine. It's still hot, but you're not wearing a lot. When it's cold, man, sometimes you can't put enough on. And
you can never put enough on. I'm terrified of my trip to Chicago in early March.
So you're going to a concert, right?
March 7th, yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
All right.
Terrified because, I mean, up there, A, it stays colder longer, and B, you got that lake effect wind in the windy city. And if it's cold and windy, like, what was it, 2 days ago? It was miserable that morning.
Yeah.
The wind just, I mean, it felt a lot colder than the actual temperature was.
No, it doesn't.
It
Just
did.
Tell me what it is.
It felt way colder than 20 on the other morning.
Well, then it wasn't 20. See, if it feels like 10, then it's 10. I see. That's what I don't get. I don't understand. While the temperature is 20, but it feels like 10. It drives me insane. Just say it's 10. Hey, it's 10. That's what your body feels. So guess what? That's the temperature. Makes no sense. I don't know what's going on. Makes absolutely no sense.
Well, my phone said it was 1, and my body said it was a different temperature.
Yeah, whatever, dude. I wouldn't trust that body of yours, Pledge. Come on. Not at all.
It's too skinny.
Hey, if you haven't heard, Zach Martin has told the Cowboys by numerous reports that he is calling it a day. He's going to retire from the NFL and move on. And look, Zach Martin, one of the best to ever play the game on that offensive line. And if he is indeed going to retire and stay that way, then God bless him, because he's earned it. And he can move on and do some other things. And banged up this year, and I think his play is starting to decline a little bit. And so I think a lot of these guys know. Some don't. Some say, I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going and until I can't anymore. And then all you remember is how bad they played at the end of their career and not how good they were earlier in their career. I want to remember them like that and not like the other way. But that was the breaking news here at the top of the hour that we were covering. Of course, the big story here in San Antonio today is Victor Wembanyama out for the rest of the season with a blood clot. Again, we're going to talk with Dr. Josh Bell coming up here at 5 o'clock. And he's going to give us a little more information on what's going on with Wemby and how this thing is going to progress and what it means for his long-term future, if anything. So Dr. Josh Bell coming up here at 5 o'clock here in about, 10 minutes or so, 10, 12 minutes. We'll talk to him coming up and see what info he's got and the updates that he's got. And I'm looking forward to that. So anything you'd like to say about Wemby or Zach Martin or anybody else, you're more than welcome to do that. There's a lot of people, a lot of good comments on our YouTube page today. Please like and subscribe our YouTube page, or you can call us. Call the station at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. And if I'm not mistaken, Pledge, we've got some tickets to give away, right?
You do.
To Cody, Canada, and The Departed, I believe.
That's going to be this Saturday at Stable Hall. Yeah.
Yeah, well, why don't we do that now?
You want to do that now?
You want to do that now, or you want to do it after Dr. Bell?
I mean, we could do it going into break here. That's fine.
Well, yeah, I think so. Why don't we do that? So everybody, John Sobery's calling me a diva like LeBron.
I mean, he's kind of right.
I don't get that.
You're telling people to retire before they're ready.
Yes.
Because you don't want to see them at the end of their career. I want to ask you, piggybacking on that, because you've said this many a times. Do you remember the end of Emmitt Smith's career in Arizona? Because I really don't. Like I've forgotten all about it, that it even happened.
Yeah, I do. And it wasn't good. It reminds me of a lot of the way Zeke Elliott went out.
Mm-hmm.
Although Emmitt had a much better career than Zeke, but I'm just saying he wasn't the same guy.
No,
he was not the same. I
remember the end of
yes.
Andre Johnson's career. I remember the end of Randy Moss's career. I remember the end of Warren Moon's, but it's not the lasting memory in my head. When I think about them, I don't even think about Andre Johnson in a Titans or Colts uniform, which he played for both of them at one point. I only think of them as a Houston. Exactly. You don't remember the end of their career. You remember who they were when they were playing. So I say get it all out of your system while you can, because you only have a finite amount of time to be able to play this game.
Well, there's no question about that. The only guy that did it right, in my opinion, although I cried like a baby when he retired.
Barry Sanders?
Barry Sanders. Yes. Yeah, in 10 years, and he still had a lot left in the tank. And, but he decided to call it quits. He had had enough, and he knew. I mean, that guy knew right away that it was time to call it a day. And looking back now, I admire that, even though I wasn't happy about it then, for sure, because he's got to be. Walter Payton, and even I go all the way back, and this is probably controversial, but I don't care. O.J. Simpson, before he became a murderer, was a hell of a running back. I mean, the guy was a hell of a running back. So, growing up watching that guy, that was very entertaining, and what he did on a horrible Buffalo Bills team. I mean, a horrible Buffalo Bills team. So,
remember the end with Brett Favre?
Oh yeah, yes. Although I always rooted for Brett Favre, especially when he went to Minnesota.
I wanted him to get his revenge.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be interesting to see what Aaron Rodgers does. I hope he makes the decision to retire. I have a feeling he won't, but we'll see. And truth be told, I've never been a huge Aaron Rodgers fan. The guy's a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player. Well,
I think he's
that now. Yes, he's that now. That's for sure. But I want him to retire. I mean, the guy obviously was a great quarterback, great player, but it's time. It's time to call it a day, Aaron. Adios. And he may not have a choice unless somebody gets hurt for some team, and they may pick up the phone and call him. Then I don't know. I'm not
Joe.
Sure anybody's going to take this guy.
You know that Aaron Rodgers is still one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Dependent of everything else, like take everything else out, there are not 32 quarterbacks in the NFL better than Aaron Rodgers.
No, I could probably name a couple that aren't.
There's a team that could use him as a starter.
Sure,
starting with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Do you want him in your locker room? That's the question. He'd probably still play, but I don't want that bum in my locker room. I don't want him in there. I just think he's just a different kind of cat, and he just doesn't play well with others. And I don't think Pete Carroll would put up with it. I'll be totally honest with you.
That's fair.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Victor Wembanyama, he's done for the season. Blood clot in his right shoulder, and we're going to talk to a doc who treats blood clots as well, and tell us exactly what the prognosis is and how he's going to be treated and how it will affect him moving forward, because quite honestly, we're all hoping for the best, and I hope that's the case. But I want the doc to tell me and ease my fears. We'll do that. Before we go, I want to tell you we are here at Round Table Pizza, and you can come down here. We're broadcasting till 6 o'clock at night. You come down here, though, I'm going to have a beer with you, because I think we all deserve a beer tonight, and just to make us all feel a little bit better. So come on down here. It is happy hour until 7 o'clock. They're cooking food. It's fantastic. It's nice and warm in here. The pizza will warm you up even better than that. And Round Table Pizza, the Park North location, 410 and Blanco Road. That's where we're at. Head on down here. If you're not headed down there and you're near a phone, get ready, because we've got Cody Canada and The Departed. They will be playing at the stable at Pearl Hall on Saturday night. This Saturday night, they will be out there, and you can see them for free on us. if you are caller number 9 right now at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
To the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Vegas. What a wild finish.
Your home for the NFL.
You know, if you're having any issues at your house with your plumbing, your heater, your AC, you know there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899 is the phone number, 651-5899, or their website, quartermoonplumbing.com. At Quartermoon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job, from a faucet leak to a leak in your slab. At Quartermoon, they do not have commissioned sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. Background checks on all their employees, state plumbing licenses, master plumbers on staff. Nobody better than the good people there at Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899 is the phone number, 651-5899, or go to the website, quartermoonplumbing.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the A to Z savings event at AutoZone.
Yeah, happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with the rotors.
Free. Really?
Really, free.
Okay, I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah, how much is that?
Free with 5 quarts of oil.
Free? Really?
Really, free. It's part of the A to Z savings event.
You might as well call it A to free.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm. How can I help?
That guy pulled out in front of me out of nowhere. The police are on their way, but I'm really shaken up.
Don't worry. We're going to get you taken care of. You made the right call.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you've been hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck, call Davis Law Firm at 444-4444. We're ready to help day or night, and there's no fee unless we win.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Blitz is going to Vegas. Come along for an unforgettable Mega March weekend at Circa Las Vegas, March 27th through the 30th for opening day and the second weekend of the tournament. Thursday, March 27th, celebrate the start of the baseball season and watch all the games at the world's largest sportsbook, plus the ultimate March Hoops experience. Take in the action in the 6 pools and the 143-foot screen at Stadium Swim. Book now and use promo code BLITZ at circalasvegas.com and join Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in the parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the big news of the day, obviously the Spurs have lost Victor Wembanyama for the season. The team announced he's been diagnosed with a deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder, which is a form of a blood clot. Well, earlier today on Up and Adams with Kay Adams, Texas Longhorns head coach Steve Sarkisian announced there will be no orange and white spring game this year. Cited the changing landscape and year-round nature as reasons for the game going away.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenicshealth.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minnix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It's 5 o'clock. It's Thursday. You've made it. Just about Friday. The weekend is in sight, that's for sure. Hope everybody's having a great day, although we've had some bad news. I get it if you're a little bit down, but this is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix, well, he has the day off today, so he's traveling this weekend up in Phoenix to do something. So hope he's going to have a good time. I know the weather's going to be a heck of a lot warmer where he's going, that's for sure. But we'll continue and we will carry on. But, of course, the big news of the day is Victor Wembanyama out for the season with a thrombosis is what they're calling it, right, which is a blood clot. And those are big words as far as I'm concerned. So we had to go find an expert, and we have got one of the very best. That is for sure. Joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line is Dr. Josh Bell with the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Bell, I hope you're staying warm and enjoying this Thursday.
Yeah, it's a cold day out here. It's a cold day and not good news for the Spurs in San Antonio today for sure.
Boy, that is for sure. I tell you what, everybody's been a little bit down, Doc, and it's and I think it's really because of the unknown, right? We really don't know exactly what we're dealing with here, although it seems like things aren't maybe as bad as they could be. But the first thing you can explain to us is, what is vein thrombosis?
It's basically a blood clot, and so the blood clots that happen, basically, you got the high pressure system of your circulatory system, and that's the arteries, and then the low pressure system, that's the valves. So the valves, the veins that bring it back through bring the blood back to the heart. So that lower pressure system, sometimes for different reasons, we deal with it sometimes after surgery, someone can get, a blood clot, which is just blood that coagulates inside the vessel of the veins. And that's essentially what he's dealing with. And it's in his shoulder, which is a little less common than the lower legs. We see that a little more commonly, but that's what he's got. It's blood that's coagulated inside the vein that's just not flowing right now area.
So what's the best treatment for that? What are they doing with Wemby now, do you think, moving forward? How do they treat this thing?
Yeah, for sure. What happens whenever a blood clot happens, we have to put them on blood thinners, and that helps dissolve the clot over time. And so he'll definitely be on blood thinners for amount of time based on the blood clot, and that might be months. And so when you're on those medications, obviously you're at a risk to have more bleeding because you're on a medicine that thins the blood. So that's why you can't do things that might cause trauma or fall or things like that, just because it's riskier because your blood's thinner with those medications.
We're visiting with Dr. Josh Bell at Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. And Dr. Bell, I got to ask this because Wemby, he missed a couple of games with what the Spurs called illness. And then yesterday he was on the injury report as doubtful for tonight's game with an illness. And then we get this news today. How do you know or how does a doctor know that you might have a blood clot? Are there symptoms that Wemby had that would tell you that could be it?
Yeah, I mean, I would say a blood clot in the arm, it's not a super common thing for us to see. So like I was saying earlier, we usually see this as an orthopedic surgeon after a surgery. And that's because, they've had a trauma from the surgery, or maybe they had a fracture and that was the trauma. And then they're not moving their leg or their arm as much because they're recovering from the surgery. So we see it, and the way we, kind of get suspicious about it is some swelling or some extra pain or things like that. When these happen and we just don't have a great explanation for them, a patient might complain of some soreness or some swelling or some other things, and then we do an investigation to find out. You could get an MRI, but usually for this, you would get an ultrasound to look at those veins to see if there's a blood clot, or sometimes they get a CT scan just to look at those. But usually for something like this, that's not a common thing. You don't hear about it in the NBA very often. So they must have had some suspicion. He must have had some kind of symptoms in the upper arm. And that's when they said, well, let's investigate this a little more. And I don't know if they got an ultrasound or a CT, but those would be two of the more common ways we find the diagnosis.
Well, Dr. Bell, having said all of that, now that they found it, they know exactly what it is, and we've talked about the blood thinners and all that. Is this something that Spurs doctors, or you, if Wemby was your patient, would you check it on a regular basis? I mean, is this something you need to look at once a week, every day? What do you do?
Yeah, no, you don't need to look at the clot every day. What usually the main thing out for a patient in this situation is you'd want to find out why it happened. And so, like we said, it sometimes happens after surgery. We usually will consult a specialist like a hematologist, a doctor that looks at the blood in those specific instances to see, is there a reason that this person got this blood clot? There could be some structural reasons, like a difference in his veins. There could be a reason, metabolically for having these. So we'd investigate that. We want to know why it happened so that we can say, hey, it's not likely to happen again, or we can really look at overall, whether he's at risk to have other clots. Because really, the main thing you worry about, and one of the reasons you put them on blood thinners, is to dissolve that clot, but you wouldn't want it to get bigger or to go to other places, because it could potentially, it's very rare, especially if you're treating them, for the blood clot to go to the lungs, and that's called the embolism. That's the thing we really worry about. Those are dangerous. They're pretty rare in this instance, and they're really rare if you're treating it properly.
Boy, no question about it. Dr. Josh Bell, I tell you, this thing, it scared the heck out of everybody. Obviously, when you're hearing blood clot and with all the things that you just said, everybody was obviously concerned. And now that Wemby's going to miss the remainder of the season, and I know you haven't looked at him or checked him out, but typically, and you say it happens a lot after surgery, typically, when is a patient up and about and being able to do normal things?
Yeah, I mean, again, you would likely be on blood thinners for at least a couple of months, 2-3 months. Sometimes we'll rescan to see if the blood clot has cleared. And then really it's a matter of really looking at all the factors as to why it happened. Is it trauma? Is it something else? So they'll be I'm sure they would do an investigation. That's what you would do with any patient, is try to find out. Like I said, usually in my situation, they don't happen very often, but when they happen, for us, it usually happens after a surgery or after a big trauma. So we have an explanation, like, oh, they had a trauma, that's why it caused this issue, or they just had a surgery, or they've been really inactive for a little while, and that's the reason. So anyway, that investigation is important to find out or have an explanation for why it happened. The treatment is at least months on the blood thinners, and then they reevaluate to see, based on all those other factors, other evidence that they've uncovered during their investigation, to say, hey, he needs to be on it longer, or he can be off it, or that's really where they make those plans later on once they know more information.
Well, Dr. Josh Bell, the best in the business. That's why we called you, sir. We appreciate your time this afternoon.
Hey, thanks so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Dr. Josh Bell, the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics, joining us via the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. Interesting stuff, and how unique this is and how rare it is, really. And so can only hope that Wemby comes back and he's ready to go. But obviously everybody's scared. But listening to the docs, it sounds like everything's going to be okay. And we don't have a lot to worry about. Let's hope that is the case. And, of course, the Spurs have to carry on this season without him, including or beginning tonight. They've got a game up in Austin against the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant and the Suns, that will tip off at 8:30 at the Moody Center. You can watch it on TNT tonight. I'm interested to watch that thing just simply because I want to see how the Spurs perform. Once they hit the floor, will they be able to put all of this aside, and how are they going to do without this guy? That's going to be a big question mark. We just had somebody that I think I know walk in here. Some guy that likes hockey, and I'm not sure why, and that may be something a little crazy about him, but AJ Hoffman just walked in here, and he's trying to get a beer. Are you going to get a beer? All right, he's going to get a beer. While he gets a beer, we'll take a break. We'll visit with AJ. We'll talk a little Wemby and who knows what else when we return here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. But we are at Round Table Pizza this afternoon, and we've been here all day. And I tell you what, they just started happy hour. And let me tell you some of the stuff they've got on happy hour. You get $3 pints, $4 mugs, $12 pitchers. They've got food specials. They've got a family feast. They've got their new pizza, the grilled chicken, pepperoni, and bacon. You get a large for $19.99. You come in here right now, and that's not just during happy hour. That's all the time. You can get that. It's a brand new pizza that they've tried out, that they're trotting out, and so you need to come in here and try that. But $3 pints, you can't beat that. AJ Hoffman's getting one of those right now, and it looks fantastic. I got about 45 more minutes before I can have one of those, and I'm looking forward to doing that. Come on out here to Round Table Pizza. Look, it's 5 o'clock. You're off work. Point your car this way. Come on out here and have a beer with us. We can all kind of drown our sorrows with the sad news today of Zach Martin and Victor Wembanyama and all the kinds of stuff that has happened. We all deserve a beer this afternoon. So head on down to Round Table Pizza. We're at the Park North location, Loop 410 in Blanco. Point your car here. And you want to find out more about Round Table Pizza, all you have to do is go to roundtablepizza.com. Again, that's roundtablepizza.com.
Right now at North Park Chevrolet, own a new 2024 Silverado Crew Cab posted at $33,999 or lease for $0 down and $370 a month. Get 1.9% financing on all new 2024 Colorado trucks. A new 2025 Equinox LT is posted at only $25,999 plus 2.9% financing. Together, let's drive at North Park Chevrolet. 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville or at npchevy.com. Must qualify for financing offers. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
If you're tired of drinking the same old beer, good news for you, friends. Karbach Brewing has you covered. They've got something for everybody in their lineup. No matter what you like, they can improve on what you've been drinking. Whether it's a Hopadillo, a Love Street, or a Crawford Bock, they've got something for everybody. And Karbach has one of the leading IPAs in San Antonio, Hopadillo IPA, an iconic Texas IPA packed with the bitterness of hops from around the world that the hop monster craves. And one of Karbach's leading brands, the top seller in San Antonio, in fact, is the Love Street Blonde. It's a state of mind, a San Antonio state of mind. It's a Kolsch-style blonde, hopped delicately with floral German hops. This beer has the clean malt profile that you're looking for. And if you're used to drinking cerveza, they've got that as well. The Karbach Cerveza Especial is right for you. Like I said, something for everybody. And when you're in Houston, make sure you go check out the brewery, check out all the beers they have on tap. But while you're here in San Antonio, you want to try something new, why don't you try out a Karbach?
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter Get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf, Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
San Antonio, get ready. Cody Canada and The Departed are bringing their high-energy red dirt, alt country, and rock and roll to Sable Hall at the Pearl on Saturday, February 22nd. Doors open at 7 p.m. Grab your tickets now at sablehall.com before they're gone. Cody Canada and The Departed live at Sable Hall, February 22nd.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, that's interesting, that little promo there. The Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson, because I've got an AJ Hoffman sighting here at Round Table Pizza right now. That's where we're broadcasting live. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix has the day off, but AJ Hoffman has just made his way into Round Table Pizza and got himself a nice cold beer and loving life right now.
Life ain't bad, Bubba. Life ain't bad. Yeah. Going to take home a pie for the game.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What game? The Spurs game?
No, I'm not watching the Spurs tonight, Bub. No.
What are you watching?
I'm actually going to the Spurs game tomorrow.
Oh, are you really?
But tonight is about America. Joe. It's
about
about America.
That's what it is.
Team USA. Yeah. That's what the whole world is watching tonight.
Okay.
That's right. Doesn't it get you in the mood?
Yes, that does. Look, I had a little rant earlier, and I'm okay with it. Look, I'm not a hockey guy, you know that, but people have been trying to compare tonight's game, and you may be too young, but you probably know this being a hockey guy, to the 1980 game between the United States and USSR or Russia, whatever they were then. It doesn't even compare to that.
No, like if Canada was threatening to bomb us, maybe it would.
Yes.
But I will say this: like, this is not like a typical hockey game either, because the best player for Canada, well, the captain of Canada, who's Sidney Crosby, he was saying this is the biggest game he's played in years. Jack Eichel, who is one of the captains for Team USA, said, "I think this is the biggest game I've ever played in my life." And he played for a Stanley Cup 2 years ago. I mean, so these guys, this is not like an exhibition. And I don't know that this was the NHL's intent when they set this whole thing up, but to eliminate your All-Star game, which, let's face it, All-Star games are garbage.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So you eliminate the All-Star game and you replace it with this thing that everybody is so invested in that they're acting like it's more important to them than winning a championship. That's crazy, right?
Well, and I get that. I mean, but let me ask you this question. Had there not been 3 fights in 10 seconds, would anybody give a damn?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, quite frankly, like as someone who watches hockey semi-regularly,
right.
I'm not like a diehard by any stretch. I cheer for one team, and I don't watch games if they don't involve my team typically. But watching the first game, when I watched it, was USA versus Sweden, or USA versus Finland. I said, they're playing at like a different intensity level than a regular season hockey game. Like it's like playoff hockey, which is one of the more fun things to watch. You can tell everybody cares. It's literally the opposite of All-Star games where it's just freewheeling. Let's have fun. This is like dudes are going hard, and it makes for a good television. I mean, it's been fun to watch. So the fights helped, certainly.
Yeah.
And the fact that, those sorry-ass Canadians were booing our national anthem.
Well, that's the thing.
They deserved a beat down.
That's what I'm watching tonight. Do the Beantowners boo the Canadian national anthem?
They should. Quite frankly, they should have had this game in Philly. They should have moved it to Philly. So they
didn't want anybody to die.
The Philadelphia fans would just kill all Canadians.
Exactly. That'd be the end of it.
No, but yeah, I would expect the Boston fans to be pretty ruthless tonight.
I'm sure they will be, and they have every right to be. That's for sure, because that was pretty classless. But that's okay. And I get the politics of it all of that stuff, and that's great. I might watch the national anthem. And maybe give it a chance.
Give it a chance, man.
He's not a hockey guy.
Rob is not a hockey guy either.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, he watched one of the games and he's like, okay, you got me. This is better than I expected it to be. So, again, this is going to be like pretty intense, high level hockey. And if you watch the game tonight and you don't like it, then you just hate hockey, and that's okay too. I'm not trying to convert anyone, particularly in San Antonio, Texas, but. I think tonight, if you're a sports fan, I think it's going to be worth the watch tonight, because I do think there's going to be more. The hockey has a chance to make some fans tonight.
Okay.
Because I think people like you are considering watching who would never otherwise consider watching. If it were the NHL All-Star game tonight,
no,
you'd move right over it.
I wouldn't watch.
But because it's Team USA versus somebody,
sure,
suddenly there's like a rooting interest in it. And again, I think this is going to be better than your typical hockey game.
Well, I hope United States wins tonight, because that'd be a real, beatdown if they get beat.
Oh, it'd be terrible.
It'd be awful.
It'd make us feel like we just lost a war.
Well, it lost a war to a lesser opponent.
Yeah, to a bunch of maple syrup drinking.
Jeez.
Yeah,
that would
lumberjacks.
be awful. That would be awful. So I am hoping that Team USA wins. We're here with AJ Hoffman, by the way. Everybody knows that, but I've got to get your opinion on the big news today. Wemby gone for the year.
Okay. I'm not a doctor. I've heard you talk to a couple of these doctors today. From what I understand, the treatment for this is like blood thinners.
For the most part.
So basically, the guy could start an aspirin routine and he'd be okay. But the fact that the Spurs are saying, we're done for the year, I think there's an abundance of caution, and rightfully so.
Sure.
The future isn't right now for the Spurs. But B, what do you got to lose now? You're not going to make the. I think Rob and I were talking about this morning. This is not the year for them to make the playoffs.
They weren't going to make the playoffs anyway.
Maybe if they were, 10, 12 games ago when they were hovering around 500, it felt like maybe they could make a run. I was like, okay, I'm not counting them out. The last 12, 15 games, they've been so dreadful that any chances for this season are gone. And now it's about looking forward to the future. To me, that means I think everybody's talked about a little less Chris Paul.
Yes.
A little bit more Steph Castle. I think we're going to see for a little while De'Aaron Fox keep playing, because I think De'Aaron Fox wants to get used to playing with some of these guys. But then I expect De'Aaron Fox at some point to be shut down as well. Just because when you've got nothing to play for, the guy needs a surgery anyway.
He does.
Why wait until the season ends when you could get a couple weeks extra head start? I just think that this. I don't want to say it's a tank move, but it's certainly not a move that says we're really going to make a push. I think the Spurs looked themselves in the mirror. They said, well, there's no Popovich here. This year, we already started with it kind of dealt a bad hand.
And the Mitch Johnson experiment was a failure.
Quite frankly,
yes,
yeah.
It has been.
Now, if Mitch Johnson had a team full of grown men, of veterans, I think it'd be different. But I think Mitch Johnson with a team full of kids who are trying to grow together, it was, not that Pop had a choice, but it was a really bad time. Maybe have your stroke in 2 years if you're going to have one, bro.
Right.
It wasn't
bad
the time.
Timing, Pop.
Really bad timing.
What's going on?
Try to hold out. You know what I mean? But I think that it was a long shot for them to make something happen without him this year anyway. And now it's pretty much over. And they realize it. I think that's why they made that decision. Otherwise, if this team was in 7th place right now, you think they would have said Wemby's done for the year?
No.
They would have said, when we're shutting him down for a little while, we're going to see how his treatment goes, and hopefully he'll be able to come back. But because they know what the score is, they said, we'll see you next year, bub.
Yeah, I had a doctor say that much. If the Spurs were still in it, he could see him coming back 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So so he said as much. So look, I think it's good. I just think when you say blood clot, it scares the hell out of people, and a lot of athletes have come back from it. Chris Bosh is a guy that didn't. but he was older.
He was old, yeah.
And so there is a difference there. But I think when you say that, and look, this team was just too inconsistent. And I'm going to tell you, and I don't know what you guys are talking about when you're doing Spurs in the morning, and because Rob is kind of he's the basketball guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, but if your name isn't Castle, Fox, or Wembanyama, bye. I mean, not all of them will leave, but I'm going to tell you what, I think all of those guys are expendable.
I got one more guy that I think is important to this team, at least for the next year, because I do think Chris Paul is going to be gone.
He will be.
But I really like what Harrison Barnes has brought to this team. And when Chris Paul leaves, it'll still be good to have a veteran presence on that team, a guy he's the only guy in the whole locker room who's won a damn thing. And I think there is value in that, to have a guy on your team who's got rings and can say, hey, man, I've been there and done it. I know what it's like.
Sure.
And it's not like Harrison Barnes doesn't think he's the best player on the team. He knows his role.
Right.
And he does things that, quite frankly, no one else on this team does. He can shoot a little, which this is a crappy shooting team.
Horrible.
For one that shoots as much as they do, they're dreadful at it.
It's horrible.
Harrison Barnes is pretty good, and he plays defense. And quite frankly, there's not a lot of guys on this team who can play solid defense. And so to me, that guy is still valuable. Everyone else, and I said it at the trade deadline, if it would have taken, and I'm glad it didn't take Keldon or Devin Vassell to get De'Aaron Fox, but if it would have, okay.
That's fine.
I said at the beginning of the year, everybody was really upset with me when I said, when the Spurs get into Charizard form, when they become their full-blown selves, like the beast that they're hoping to become, Devin Vassell is not going to be one of the 3 or 4 best players on this team. That's not the kind of player he is. Devin Vassell is the kind of guy on a 15-win team that can score 25 points a game.
That's it.
But on a real, like, competitive NBA basketball team, Devin Vassell's like the 6th or 7th guy probably.
Well, and he's making a lot of money, right? He's making a lot more money than he should be.
Well,
Keldon
for
Johnson,
what he is,
right?
Like,
Keldon Johnson, and you're talking about signing De'Aaron Fox to a 4-year, $200 million+ extension this summer, right? So you're gonna have to start thinking about it. Look, I was a big Devin Vassell fan. I thought this guy, maybe he's the guy up and coming. He could be that shooter they need, the wing that they need, and he just hasn't been that.
My guess is now we start to see Devin put up some numbers.
Well, sure,
because now the offense is going to be totally different, and now he's going to put up a bunch of junk numbers and losses.
He will,
and hopefully, what that does is pump up his trade value.
Well,
and
yes.
maybe this offseason the Spurs consider it, depending on what they can get in the draft, because Devin, Eldon, any of these guys are, to me, they're movable for one of those 2 things you need. You need a shooter and you need a big man.
Yep.
You need a big man who does big man things. And obviously Wemby's big, but Wemby is not a big.
He's not an inside player.
Yeah,
he's not.
You need a guy who will do dirty work, who can rebound, who can block shots, who can clog up paint, who wants to score around the basket, which Wemby has no interest in.
None.
And so if you can move those guys for someone like that, maybe a veteran, then I think you absolutely have to consider that.
You have to.
And in this day and age, centers are cheap, man.
Well, sure they are.
Trade a bag of beans and get a big lugging 7-footer.
I just think you have to start looking to the future. And I get your point on Harrison Barnes, and that's fine. He's a 2-year deal anyway, right? So most likely he's back.
I would hope he's back. That's all I'm saying.
But I just think it's time to start looking to the future. I'm sick and tired of this. Well, we got to take our steps and we got to do this. No, I'm done with that. Because look, Victor Wembanyama, this kid wants to win. You see it in everything he does. You see him at the All-Star game with Chris Paul with the skills challenge.
He's trying to cheat.
Well, I know, but he wants to win. And if you're not cheating, you're not trying, right? The kid wants to win. And if they're not going to put a winning team here, there's no reason for him to stay here.
Yeah.
And I fully believe that. And I say it all the time. It's like, look, this kid will leave.
You got a window with him. This isn't
you
David.
Do.
This isn't Tim, who's are just going to stay here forever. I think if you don't strike while the iron's hot with him, he'll be gone.
Absolutely.
And people will say, well, Bird writes this. And it's like, yeah, but the money that a guy like Wemby can make, if Wemby becomes what we think he can, the guy that the money that he can make in a New York or a LA market it will easily make up for what he loses in NBA salary.
No, there's no question.
So, yeah, I think the Spurs really have to make a case to keep him. And they haven't really had to do that before. Well, when they had to do that was with Kawhi, and Kawhi didn't want to.
Well,
and you know what? And people will probably be mad at Wemby if the time comes and he decides to go. But that's the reality of being in San Antonio, quite frankly, is it's hard to be an international superstar when you're in San Antonio to the level that Wemby has the capability of being. No, that's not to say, I mean, Tony Parker was a star, but Tony Parker wasn't the kind of guy who was a household name outside of sports.
Most underrated point guard in the league.
Wemby has the capability of becoming like a star to non-sports people. Like, like how non-sports people know who LeBron is.
Right.
Non-sports people know who Tiger Woods is. Non-sports people don't know who Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili are.
Right.
Wemby's the kind of guy who they're going to say, oh, that giant 7-foot French kid, that's Victor Banana Bread or whatever. But he's got a chance to be known on a level that not many guys are. And it's hard to do that in San Antonio.
Yeah, you're right. Especially if you go to a Boston and New York and LA. I mean, sure, it's exact. Don't get me started on number 2. All right, because number 2 is just that. Number 2, he dropped a bomb on this team on his way out. And so we could go all day on that. There's no question about it. Happy you stopped by, man. I really am. We got a few minutes left. We got to talk about Zach Martin, his decision today.
I'm down if you're down.
I'm not sure he stays that way.
I bet he does.
I'm just saying, I'm not sure. There's too many rumors out there.
You think he just wants to not be a Cowboy anymore?
Well, yeah, and I think he could have anyway. He's a free agent. So a lot of people say, well, why announce his retirement? Why not just go sign somewhere?
Yeah.
Could be. But, he's a nice guy.
Okay. He's just trying to be friendly.
He's a nice guy.
Listen, man, if I had the choice, I wouldn't want to be going back to that thing right now either. It doesn't look like there's a lot of positive things going that way.
Well, Jerry's made a lot of mistakes, like, I don't know, signing number 4 to the deal he signed him to. A lot of things we can get into, my friend. We need to do a whole show sometime, and I can bitch to you like I bitch to Minnix.
I'm down anytime you want, Bubba.
All right, brother. Hey, we're going to take a break. We're at Round Table Pizza, though. You got time to get out here and have a beer with me and AJ. Happy hour goes till 7 o'clock, by the way, and then they stay open obviously later than that. That dude's got a hell of a salad going right there.
That's a manly-ass salad.
That is a manly salad.
You don't say manly salad very often?
No, but
does that have melted cheese on it? Oh, that's dressing.
Dude, that is incredible.
I was like, oh, my God.
That's a meal right there.
Yeah, it is a good-looking salad.
Yeah, but guess what? They got a salad bar right here. You want to make a manly salad, you can come in here and make your own manly salad. That's for sure. They got specials out here. $3 pints right now.
I'm having one.
$3 pints. That's a hell of a deal. So come on out here to Round Table Pizza. We're at the Park North location. That's right off Blanco and Loop 410. Come on out to us. We're broadcasting another 6, but I'm going to have a beer or 2 before I get the heck out of here. That's for sure. So come on out and party with us. Do that. We're going to take a break. We will be back. We're going to talk a little Spurs Suns. They do have a game tonight, and then we'll tell you what's on tap as well when we continue here from Round Table Pizza. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Want to tell you, though, about something that Jason Minnix and I have been doing, and I tell you what, I love doing it. We go to Dr. Connie Heyer's Plastic Surgery and Med Spa. We're doing this thing called M-Sculpt Neo. Now, what this is a non-invasive, muscle-building, fat-burning procedure, and there's no downtime. It's really like doing 20,000 crunches in 30 minutes. It jumpstarts your muscles. That's what it does. All you have to do is call Dr. Connie Heyer's Plastic Surgery and Med Spa. That number is 210-494-8446. Tell them the Blitz sent you over there. It's really been a crazy thing, and you don't do anything. You go in there, you lay down, they put these paddles on your stomach, and then they turn the lights off, and they let you go. I fall asleep most of the time. It is incredible. You don't have to spend hours in the gym. Just 30 minutes with the M-Sculpt Neo. And right now, throughout the month of February, they got a 15% off a package of M-Sculpt Neo. 15% off. Everything you want to know about Dr. Heyer's Plastic Surgery and Med Spa is go to findyourbeautiful.com. Findyourbeautiful.com. All the specials are in there. All the services they provide are in there as well. Go check them out. You owe it to yourself. Treat yourself. Spoil yourself a little bit. You deserve it. Again, it is Dr. Connie Heyer's Plastic Surgery and Med Spa. That number is 210-494-8446. The website, findyourbeautiful.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, back to work. How'd the Spurs do?
And a recap of USA-Canada, the Four Nations final. Rob and I are also headed to Austin tonight to watch the Spurs again. We'll preview that. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, My name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years. And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this. The insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or my website, alawyerforus.com.
Order for Jennifer C. Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve? Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine? Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year? Oh, really? That's great. Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year? Yeah, you just said that. Did you say I just said that? Yeah, I'm cutting you off. I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Rock's Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rox the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rox has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the InBody 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rox know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit roxdiscountvitamins.com.
You know, the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redmond Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hey, San Antonio, multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Final segment of the Blitz. Love that music, right? It's been an interesting day. I'm Joe Reinagel. AJ Hoffman is here. Jason Minnix has the day off. This is the Blitz. We're at Roundtable Pizza. We've been here all day. It's been great. And I tell you what, it's filling up for the dinner crowd here. The pizza's fantastic, AJ. It really is.
I'm going to try it.
I know the beer is good and cold, and
oh yes,
you're enjoying that.
Oh
that's
yes,
good. I will have one here in just a moment. That's for sure. But you still got time to come on down here, and even when we're off the air, happy hour lasts till 7 o'clock. So you can come on down here, grab a pie, take it home, or eat it here, whatever you want to do. doesn't matter. But A.J. Hoffman stopped by, so we've been chatting about a variety of things. A lot of things happening today. Obviously, the big news here is Victor Wembanyama done for the year with the blood clot. All of that doesn't sound as bad as normally you might think a blood clot sounds. So it looks like he's going to be back, and there's not going to be a problem. A couple of other things happened today. And the one big thing with the Dallas Cowboys, Zach Martin has announced that he's retiring from the NFL. It doesn't really come as a big surprise, quite frankly.
No, I think a lot of people thought that might be the case when he shut it down last season. The fact that he's a free agent, it was hard to picture Zach Martin going somewhere else. I think for a lot of people, although it seems like maybe you've got some ideas that he may want to.
AJ, I mean, the rumors were out there. I mean, Cincinnati's been courting this guy big time. I know the Houston Texans wouldn't mind him stopping by there. I just don't know what he has left in the tank.
Dude, I mean, when he played last year, he was not very good.
Right.
So this was not like vintage Zach Martin.
Yeah.
So quite frankly, I kind of thought he was retiring partly because of the injury and partly because and it's always hard to think that players are going to self-realize these things. But maybe naively, I thought he realized I'm not the player that I once was.
Yeah.
And sometimes you want to walk away before you start getting run over and before you get pushed out. You know what I mean? And Zach Martin's had a long, good career. And it would suck to see him get pushed out. So to me, this is like him kind of leaving before the wheels fall off. And I always appreciate when athletes do that, although I understand why it's hard for them to do sometimes.
Well, I get that too, but I say it all the time. I don't want to watch like Tiger Woods, for example. I don't want to see him play competitive golf.
You want to see him hit on that screen?
Well, that's fine because he can compete there, and I don't mind that. But he can't play with those guys anymore, and it's not because he doesn't have the talent to. His body just won't let him.
I mean, it's like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. He needs to go away.
I'm with you. I heard you say that on the way in. And Pledger said there's not 32 quarterbacks better than him. There's probably not. But if you are one of those teams that if you're the Raiders, do you want Aaron Rodgers or do you want to start looking for your long-term solution? Because Aaron Rodgers isn't your long-term solution. And by the way, last year, you would have said one of the teams that could really use an upgrade was the Jets, and Zach Wilson was better than Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
So, I mean, again, it's not apples to apples because one guy's on the line, but that also means that one guy's taking a lot more punishment, week in and week out. One guy's giving up a lot more of those brain cells week in and week out, getting hit on every single play. If I'm Zach Martin, I think he did the right thing. I think he's walking away at the right time. But you know what? If again, are there 64 guards that are better than him right now?
No.
Probably not.
No.
And if there's some team that he feels like he's got a chance to chase a ring with, okay, I would totally not blame him for that. But it didn't make sense to re-sign with Dallas and do what? Like,
he's not going to chase a ring in Dallas.
Yeah, you're not getting one there. So
well, you're not. That's a project right now at this point in time. And I wonder what's going to happen with that team because they're most likely going to sign Micah Parsons, although I've been saying that you ought to kick the tires on a trade.
You think I'm an idiot?
See what you can get. I mean, and if you can't get anything, well, all right, you still got him, and you haven't lost anything. But I think that would be Dallas's quickest way to get back to prominence because the way they are right now, you're looking 3, 4, 5 years.
I agree, and it sucks. The idea of trading your best player sucks. And Michael Parsons, make no mistake, is their best player. The problem is that you made this huge mistake with Dak, or at least waiting until to sign Dak and like acting like you were going to win the deal, and then you lost the deal in phenomenal fashion. Like you waited all that time, and then you gave him the most money ever. And now there's not really a quick fix to it. You're right. And would Micah help? Would moving Micah for a couple picks, would it help? Sure, but it also means you're giving up the best player on your defense, one of the probably 5-10 best defensive players in the league.
Sure. And
you're getting a couple draft picks that the Cowboys might use on Mozzie Smith or something like that. So, I mean, do you trust the Cowboys to replace him? I don't know.
Thing. Well, that's the thing. But, I mean, I look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Those guys aren't old. Those guys are just beasts, and they play. And
the Eagles draft well.
Yeah, they do draft well. And they've done a hell of a job. And that's the thing. I don't know. It's frustrating because I thought they should have blown it up. And we can go back. They didn't. They're stuck with Dak Prescott. But you let him play last year and then let him walk. Let him test the free agent market. I guarantee he's not getting $60 million from anybody else.
No.
He's not. And so I think they should have rebuilt. Start over. Get a rookie quarterback.
Well, it's too late for that now.
Well, now it's too late.
So your chips are in, and it's hard once your chips are in to say, okay, now we're going to give up our best player because we just spent all this money on Dak Prescott. We spent all this money on CeeDee Lamb.
Yes.
And now we're going to let our best player walk away. That's difficult to do because you couldn't win last year with him.
Well, welcome to 7 and 10 seasons for the next
Might
several.
be, man.
I'm telling you,
I mean, it was to say they played chicken with Mike McCarthy. They lost that. They played chicken with Dak. They lost it. Now they're going to play chicken with Micah. And I don't know what the win is. The win would honestly be either trading him now and getting a good haul for him or signing him right now. Because otherwise, TJ Watt's going to sign an extension. Trey Hendrickson's going to sign an extension. Max Crosby's going to sign an extension. And then Micah's going to say, I'm just as good as all those guys and way younger. Where's my money?
That's why I'm Micah. I'm waiting. I don't want to sign. I'm waiting for those guys. So it's going to be interesting to see. But with the Cowboys, it always is, man. Dude, I appreciate you stopping by.
My pleasure, friend.
Yeah, the first time to Round Table Pizza.
Yeah, my first time. I'm taking home a double play pepperoni with garlic. And stuffed crust. He said I could get a stuffed crust.
Glad you live alone, pal.
I do.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It's just my cat that has to worry about it.
That poor cat, man. I feel bad for that poor cat.
Hard times.
Is that orange cat?
No, I found someone to take that orange cat.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
This is my wife's cat that she sent down here to live with me.
Yeah,
to keep an eye on me.
Well, that's a good idea.
That's right.
So I bet they talk back and forth.
They do.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah.
I think she thought I was dating a girl who was allergic to cats, and that's it. At least cuts out some of the pool of possibilities.
It does. Because here in San Antonio, there are a few of those. So I got it. Hey, Jay, thanks, bud.
Of course,
man. That was a lot of fun,
yes,
man.
Sir.
I really appreciate that. I tell you what, it's been a lot of fun here at Round Table Pizza, and you need to come on down here. You still got time to have a beer with AJ and I. He's waiting on his pizza. He's going to have another beer. I'm going to have one. Come on down here and join us. Check this place out because it is absolutely fantastic. I love this place, and I appreciate them hosting us today. It's just been a lot of fun. The news hasn't been good. That's for sure, with the news of Victor Wembanyama and then Zach Martin, and we're having to deal with that. But, look, we're going to be okay. And the Spurs got a game tonight against the Suns. Suns are beatable even without Wemby, I think. If the Spurs lock in, who knows what might happen. They're going to have a raucous crowd there at the Moody Center in Austin, so it's going to be a party atmosphere. I have a feeling, though, it may not be on their side. Now that Wemby's out, it may not be on their side. They might all be pulling for Kevin Durant. I mean, it's absolutely possible that they're all pulling for Kevin Durant tomorrow or tonight. So we'll see. I'm anxious to see it. I want to watch it and check it out and see what the mood is of the San Antonio Spurs.
You think we'll get an Arch Manning sighting?
I wouldn't be surprised. He was named the starter today.
He was.
Go out and hold his head up high. I don't know who Sark is trying to fool. Named Arch the starter, but he did make some big news when he talked about no spring game this year for the Texas Longhorns. And I think that's a trend that will continue in college football as long as it stays the way that it is right now, because they need to go to more of an NFL schedule and fix things. I think college football needs to go NFL light. They really do. And same thing, free agent period, salary cap, all of that kind of stuff where it's regulated more than it is now. So we'll see. But it's been a lot of fun out here, Pledge. Really has. Props to you, my friend. Good job. I appreciate you, Greg Shelton, as well. But we still got some business to take care of. You know what we do on Thursdays at this time?
The Blitz wants you to know what's on tap. Presented by Sam's Burger Joint.
What's on tap? Presented by Sam's Burger Joint. If you want the full lineup, go to samsburgerjoint.com. Tonight, if you're looking for something to do, head out there. Evening Echoes playing out there. Tomorrow, Vanessa Collier will be performing at Sam's Burger Joint. Saturday night is Dave Finley. Then Sunday, you've got Claude Morgan and the Bandaholics. They're performing out there as well. Sam's Burger Joint, they've got a great lineup, a great place to go watch live music. samsburgerjoint.com. If you're not headed out there, you want to head out to Green Hall tonight. Kayla Jane is performing out there. ACL Live has David Gray The rodeo, Sammy Hagar, a little rock going on at the San Antonio rodeo tonight. A little Sammy Hagar music. Stable Hall at the Pearl, Love and Whiskey with Fawn Weaver. And then, of course, you know about the basketball game. We've been talking about it at the Moody Center. If you're going, you better get started, although they don't tip until 8:30. Spurs taking on the Suns. Fitzgerald's Bar tonight has Accidental Alchemy. All right, and LOL Comedy Club, A.J. Wilkerson. How about Friday night? You want to head out to the Home and Garden Show at the Alamo Dome on Friday. Nelly is playing at the San Antonio Rodeo tomorrow. I know a lot of people that are excited about that. Green Hall, Saturday night. Cat Hasty is out there. What else do we got? We got 3 Dog Night at ACL Live. 3 Dog Night. Those guys got to be old as hell. 3 Dog Night. I remember listening to those guys back in the 70s. Spurs play again tomorrow night at the Moody Center. They'll take on the Detroit Pistons. And Passing Strangers on Saturday night is at the Pix Bar. By the way, LOL Comedy Club, Jeremy Piven is performing tomorrow night at the LOL Comedy Club. Before he does that, he's going to visit with us tomorrow right here on the Blitz. Saturday night, Stable Hall at the Pearl. Cody Canada and The Departed. We've been giving away tickets. The fellas in the morning have been giving away tickets to that show as well. Hope you all enjoy it if you want it. If not, head on out there. That should be a great show. Floor's Country Store on Saturday night is Gary P. Nunn. Home and Garden Show continues at the Alamo Dome on Saturday as well. Dwight Yoakam is the headliner at the San Antonio Rodeo on Saturday night. Nate Smith will play the early show, and then Dwight Yoakam will have the nightcap. And again, Jeremy Piven still at the LOL Comedy Club on Saturday night. Green Hall, Rochelle and the Sidewinders are out there. Monday night, Brett Graham's out at Green Hall. And the Majestic Theater on Tuesday has Funny Girl. That ought to be a lot of fun. That's what's on tap, brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint. For a full lineup of what's happening out there, go to samsburgerjoint.com. Victor Wembanyama, the big story out here in San Antonio today. He is out for the remainder of the season. How will the Spurs respond? We're going to begin to find that out coming up tonight when they take on Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns. It's the first of a back-to-back. They've got the Detroit Pistons on Friday night at the Moody Center as well. Then they've got a couple of games that conclude with the rodeo road trip on the road before they head back home to the Frost Bank Center. So we'll see how they're doing there and how they handle the entire season. That's going to be the thing. And that's really the question that we're going to continue to follow, not only tomorrow, but into next week and so on and so forth. Also next week, I'm excited because the Combine, the NFL Combine, gets started next week. That's always a lot of fun. Yeah, Jarrah will be out there in his RV or bus that he has that most people, including myself, would love to live in. It is quite the schwankiness. It really is. So he's going to be out there. You enjoy the Combine, don't you, Pledge?
Oh, I love the Combine. It's great. I already know 25th and 6th, D'Amico and Nick Caserio will talk. I imagine Jerry's going to do his big spiel from his bus at some point.
He will do that, yes.
And that's always entertaining. I believe that's where we first got All In.
That's where we got All In, yeah. And if he says that again, people might riot because we know he doesn't mean it. And that's the thing. Look at that. I got the camera here just so everybody can see Greg Shelton over there. You see that? There he is. And he's still not smiling. He just doesn't smile. That's why we call him grumpy ass Greg Shelton. That's it. But he enjoys that. I'm not sure if Greg enjoys anything, quite frankly. Hey, that'll do it from us. Again, thanks to the folks here at Roundtable Pizza. We appreciate them very much. Still got time to come down here. I'm about to order a cold beer and have that go down. I think I deserve it after today. And so do you, by the way. So you still got time to come on down here. Again, happy hour lasts until 7. Again,
we're tomorrow. Have Beer Santa tomorrow, right?
We got Beer Santa tomorrow. That's right. We are live tomorrow. It's the San Antonio Sports Star Tournament kickoff party, our golf tournament. Of course, Flight by Yingling. They are the title sponsor for us, and we appreciate that. So we'll be out there at the clubhouse just off Broadway near the entrance to Brackenridge Golf Course It is the official kickoff party for our spring golf tournament, which will be out at the Golf Club of Texas. It is presented by Flight. Flight will be out there not only with some cold beer that Beer Santa will pass out. I know he will. But there are going to be other prizes as well, not to mention the fact that they're going to have a putting tournament out there. Flight is going to give away a foursome to our golf tournament. So all you have to do is be the best putter. And all of that's going to be indoors, so you don't have to worry about that. Come and join us tomorrow at the clubhouse right off Broadway near the entrance to Brackenridge Park. By the way, you can also register to win a great prize, an unforgettable golf trip for four to Kingston Resort in South Carolina. Tomorrow, the Blitz live at the clubhouse, 2300 Avenue B, just off Broadway by the entrance to Brack with Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Good night, everybody.
Taking you home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM.